how's it going? It's a just chatting stream again. Let me put on some music. I think I'm just gonna listen to the playlist. This microphone is too close to me. I think I'm just gonna listen to the playlist I did yesterday. Also, my stomach hurts today, so I'm like lower energy. Yeah, this is fine until I want to change it. Let's go with that. I was like here. Oh, yeah, I put the thing over here. I was like here and on time, and then my stomach had like a wave of pain, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go lie down instead of actually doing stream. So I needed like a little bit more time to go rest, which is why I'm like starting stream a little bit later. And we're gonna be strict today. No 6 hours stream for y'all, because I actually have to go to work tomorrow. So I'm shutting shit down after a reasonable amount of time. I think like 2 hours is like reasonable. After that, it's all extra. Okay, now I can like sit back. Now I can sit back a little bit. Let me look. Let me open up chat. And you throw tomatoes at me, I'll make this stream 1 hour long and I'll go to bed. You throw tomatoes at me, I'll make this stream 1 hour long. Don't think I won't. Whoa. Oof. Okay. Let me make this smaller too. I can actually see everything. I can't see myself, so I have no idea how that's gonna go, but okay, let's see. Who got first? Memes. Thanks, Memes, for being first. You're the first kiss of the day, possibly the only kiss of the day. We'll see how it goes. Mwah. Thank ya. Hi, Eternity. Hi-o. Hi. Hi, Ishmael. Hi, Roxy. Hi-o. How'd it do? It's fine. My tummy hurts all of a sudden. I think it's because I ate late, but I wasn't really hungry all day. I wasn't really hungry, and then as soon as I ate, my tummy was like, that was a mistake. That was a mistake, but it's like, well, I had to put food inside of you. What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do? Not eat? So I'm hoping it like evens out in a little bit. Hope you feel better. Me too. I hope I feel better too. We'll see. I know. I'm like these days I'm flipping back and forth between like we are so back and like I have never felt as bad as I've ever felt in my entire life in my body. Like every other day is like, whoa, we are so back. We are so back. And then the next day is like, never mind. Never mind, it's actually worse. It's worse than I thought. Yeah, so I'm hoping I feel a little better tomorrow. Because I have like a really long day tomorrow, so I don't want to feel too bad. Can that shut up? Thank you. I don't want to hear the commercial. Hi, Box. Hi-o. It do be like that sometimes. I mean, that's just like having a disabled body. It's like, well, you kind of just don't really know what you're gonna get. You play Russian roulette every day. Play a little gamba every day. on what you're gonna get. Are you gonna get a good body today, or are you gonna kind of be in pain? What's the vibe? What's going on? And for the first half of the day, I was doing fine, but as soon as stream started, they were like, what if we started hurting, perhaps? What if, possibly, we started hurting? But I hope everybody else had a better day than me. I mean, I had a fine day. Today was fine. Today was fine. Outside of, like, oof, TikTok hating me, but that's, like, always. So it's like TikTok hating me, but I'm like, oh, that's an everyday issue. Wow. Outside of that, it was fine. I did watch, like, the continuation. So for those that don't know, there's a TV show called Girl from Nowhere that got really popular. And when did this show come out? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it got popular on Netflix, the first season, years ago. Curious about when season 1 came out. It came out in 2018. The show's from Thailand. Got pretty popular. It's like a psychological thriller, fantasy, horror situation, anthology. And a lot of people, I mean, it was very novel at the time, like very, very novel. I mean, it wasn't good. Let me play the music. What? I'm missing the music because I'm yapping. Whoa. It wasn't good, but it was very, like, unique. You know, I think in our modern day, we have a lot more of these, like, psychological thrillers. You know, I think of, like, I mean, even, like, TV shows like Black Mirror are kind of done to death at this point. But at the time, in 2018, there wasn't that many of them. It was very novel, especially because the main actress was really, really good. Kitty. Chi-Cha Kitty. An amazing actress. I mean, the writing could have been better, but the plot is essentially, it's called Girl from Nowhere. It revolves around a girl from nowhere. Her name is Nano, who is like an entity that basically plays karma in an anthology series. So she is the embodiment of karma. And it was just very novel, right? And the show ran for 2 seasons. So it got a season 1, became extremely popular in the world. Then it got a season 2. Season 2 was bad. Season 1 was already, like, kind of being carried on, season 1 was already being carried on just, like, Kitty's performance, to be completely honest. And also, like, some interesting anthology scenarios. But then season 2 was really bad, personally. And I think, like, the majority of the fan base thought it was really bad because they introduced, like, a side character that was basically going to take over. It was, like, fighting against Kitty, essentially. It's like, oh, Nano is losing her powers of karma. Nano is losing her powers of karma because, this other person, it's a whole thing. This other person basically comes in and she tries to be, like, the next Nano, but it doesn't work because, like, I mean, Kitty just gives such a good performance that, like, nobody can really top her. Like, she really became, like, the focus of the show. It would be like, to put in, like, more mainstream terms, it would be like if somebody else tried to play Iron Man, right? It's like if in, like, Iron Man 2, at the end of the movie, someone just randomly came up and they were like, I'm now Iron Man, and it's just like, who are you? Like, huh? You know, because, like, Robert Downey Jr. is so Iron Man at this point in time. Like, no one can really replace him. Obviously, in the comics, there are, like, other versions of people that take on the identity of Iron Man, but, like, the core Iron Man is going to be Robert Downey Jr. for a lot of people. Also, thank you for the head pats. Been starting my Resident Evil 8th playthrough, just finished with Lady D. Looking forward to digging into Requiem on Monday. I hope you have a good time. I really enjoyed watching it. No, because, like, whatchamacallit, I'm forgetting what her name is. The character that takes over is, like, an actual separate character. It's different. the character that takes over from an Iron Man, like the girl, I can't remember her name. I'm like, Iron Man girl version. Ironheart is a literal character in the comics. It's not like she's like she has a whole like separate identity. It's not like she's like taking over from as Iron Man. It's like trying to be Robert Downey Jr. compared to like Girl from Nowhere, where it's like this new girl is trying to be Nano. It's like Ironheart is a completely different character. That would be like saying that like She-Hulk is trying to take over from Hulk. It's like those are two different characters. Yes, yes. She's like trying to fully replace her, and she's doing a really bad job, which is why season two didn't do as well. And basically, they just didn't get a season three because the original actress got really sick. She fell ill, and they were like, and people also were really mad. She felt it was like nonstop issues with this show where it's like the lead actress fell ill, and then like nobody liked it. That nobody liked the new actress, the other girl, the new actress was trying to like take over because nobody really liked her performance or her really. Not that she's like a bad actress, but like people don't like the idea of somebody so iconic being replaced, right? So it kind of sat in limbo for a little bit. They had the season two, fell kind of in limbo, and then Netflix announced, we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back, guys. We know how much you love this show. We're bringing it back. But we're going to do a reset. So forget about all that. They're like, forget about season one and two. We're fully resetting it. And it's called Girl from Nowhere, The Reset. And I know how much everybody loves the original actress. She's not coming back. And nobody liked that. Nobody liked that. Which, I mean, to be fair, like, the original actress is, I think she's still sick. So it's like, I mean, what were they going to do? Right? Like, she's still sick. I mean, what can you really do about it? In my personal opinion, they just shouldn't have done the reset. But I know Netflix wants to make money. So they're like, well, they're like, how bad could it be if we just replace her? I sat down and I watched the first 3 episodes of The Girl from Nowhere, The Reset. One of the worst television shows I've ever watched in my entire life. I cannot. I keep watching garbage these days. I don't know what it is. I'm like, wow. Wow. Wow, it's crazy. I've never seen a show that's so bad. And listen, I have a lot of respect for the actress, to be completely honest, because like I wouldn't have taken that role personally. The Netflix bag must be good because like I wouldn't have taken that role because she's kind of set herself up for failure in my personal opinion, because I cannot understate how beloved the original actress is for that show. So to try from the new Scooby Doo to Big Mouth, how bad? It's more of a Big Mouth, like, because Big Mouth, you can watch it. Like, you mean like Velma? Like, Velma is, like, unwatchable, in my personal opinion. I think Big Mouth is watchable, but it's bad. That's how I feel about it. Like, Big Mouth is, like, one of those shows where it's, like, for lack of a better term, like, coworker television. Where it's like your coworker would show you clips of Big Mouth and be like, isn't this hilarious? And you have to sit there and laugh. It's your coworker's favorite television show. They've seen every single season of it. Girl from Nowhere is kind of like, The Reset is kind of like that, where it's like, this is somebody's favorite television show, but it is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Again, Paradise PD, yeah. I mean, this isn't an animated television show. This is live action. So, but like, I mean, I actually think it might lend itself to animation, but we're probably never gonna see that because I think this is gonna be a flop. I mean, it's already flopping, but so what are we gonna do about it? Also, thank you for the follow. Thank you. So I'm going to explain why it's so bad, by the way. I'm not just shitting on it because I'm shitting on it. I really do give things a chance. Also, why does it feel like something's in my ear? like freaking me out. Feels like something's in my ear. Um, but it was just so bad. I watched the first 3 episodes, and I honestly think I'm gonna watch the rest of it just because I want to know how it's gonna finish out. Because it's only 6 episodes, and I think it's once a week it's gonna get released. So every Saturday it's getting released. So I just watched the latest episode. And the actress, again, I feel for her, I really do, but I think she was miscast for this. Nano is supposed to be playing the embodiment of like karma, so you need like an actress that's a little like eerie and strange and a little off-putting, and this girl just doesn't give that vibe, you know. Again, you shouldn't really be comparing like the original to this one because it is a reset, but it's hard not to. It's hard not to, you know. It's like people talking about like the new wave. We're back to the MCU, but like the new wave of the MCU. And they're like, oh, the new wave of the MCU isn't even that bad compared to the old one. And it's like, you guys have to treat it like it's separate. But it's like, I can't treat it like it's separate because I know what I used to have. What are you talking? I can't treat it like it's separate because the OG exists. What are you talking about? I think Paradise PD is quite awful. That's just me. I'm not gonna say that you're like a bad person for watching Paradise PD or anything like that, but I think like all of those shows, Paradise PD, Brickleberry, what are the other ones? Those ones, I think they're quite bad. They're like one of the worst. Mr. Bertram. Mr. Bertram. Like that. Quite awful. I wouldn't even say Family Guy slop. I think it's more like adult slop. It's more like adult slop, to be honest. I think there's a lack. There's this. I want to finish it by talking about Girl from Nowhere because I'm actually so tilted about it. But like, this is an aside. I think there's a lack of good adult animated television. Mostly because I think a lot of networks are very confused about what adults like in programs that are animated. I think they think that it's an avenue, like the animation medium is an avenue to tell raunchy, lowbrow humor, which again, I'm not against lowbrow humor, but I think it has its time and place. And they just end up putting out slop. When in reality, like, adult animation can be beautiful, vibrant, can tell compelling stories, and also can be a little sloppy. I don't mind that. Not everything has to be high art, but there's just such a wave of it that it makes me think that something is misaligned with the way that networks view animation, right? Like, it must only be for children. Therefore, the humor must match. Yeah, obviously there's like outliers. I mean, like Inside Job, but Inside Job got canceled. So Inside Job got canceled. They didn't see the vision. Inside Job got canceled. I think of shows like Rick and Morty, which, I mean, say what you want about Rick and Morty. I think it started off. I don't even think it's about hating, progressive people or anything like that. Honestly, I think it's just a misalignment of like what people see as like adult animation. Because there's that new show that's coming out about the cat. Sounds like it's so helpful, puppkats. It's like the cat that like stands on two legs. It's like Rick and Morty slop. Like, to be honest, it looks like Rick and Morty slop. And it's like, does anyone ask for this? Like, is anyone ask for this specifically? Like, I don't know. Like, does anybody have a hankering for like animals and people places? Like that trope feels like so overdone, especially in like adult animation, or that movie that came out by the director of, was it the director, the original animator of Samurai Jack, where it was about like I mean, well animated, I guess, but like the one about dogs. Let me look if I can go find it. Because that one blew up on Twitter and everyone was like, nobody wanted this. So why did you make this movie? Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, Gendy. Cause he. Let me see if it's on his IMDb. Question mark. Question mark. I mean, it's not there because it's not out yet. Fixed was the movie. Fixed was the movie, and everyone was like, no. Everyone's like, no, no, we don't want that. Where it's just very raunchy, like, adult animation, right? Like, it's giving Sausage Party. It's giving Sausage Party, it is. It came out last year. Where it's just, like, dogs, like, humping things, or, like, talking about sex and, I don't know, adult situations, but they're dogs, so that's what makes it funny. And it's like, shouldn't adults also want more from their animation? I'm confused. Again, I'm not like a prude or anything like that. I think like sex jokes are funny, duh. But it's like, that's it. That's all you're gonna tell in this format. That's the one joke that you guys have for adults. That's it. Mr. Bra, you mean like Mr. Bertram? Rick and Morty fell off so hard because it was a cultural zeitgeist back then. Well, it fell off because it became bad. That's why I was saying, but I cut off my sentence. But like, Rick, say what you want about Rick and Morty, but like in its original first couple seasons, it was pretty good. It was really good. And then the writing got bad for a majority. We could be here all day, all night talking about Rick and Morty, but like, I forgot which one out of the two hated serialized content. Out of the two co-creators. Yeah, it was Dan Harmon who was like, I don't want to tell a canonical story. Like, it was just so strange. Like, that's where we really should have started, like, looking at things. Outside, obviously, I already know that Justin Roiland, I mean, who doesn't know that Justin Roiland is a weirdo? And when I say weirdo, I obviously mean, like, predator. But, like, that, just writing wise, that's really where somebody should have taken over from them, because like they didn't really know what the fuck they were doing. Because what do you mean you want to have 10 seasons of a show but you don't want it to have a story? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you hear yourself? And they were like dead ass about it. They kept doing that within the show, which is why Rick and Morty kind of fell off to an extent. There's multiple reasons of this, but this is one reason. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. This is one reason. Because they refused to keep a story. They refused to do it. Like, I think in season 3, they almost had a story, and then they just wiped it. And they kind of said, fuck you to the audience. Like, within the story, they were like, I can't believe you guys actually wanted a story. And they kept doing that. Where they were like, isn't it so funny that you guys actually want a story for these characters? Isn't that so funny? We don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck. But then I think somebody came to somebody had an intervention where they were like, guys, we need to write a story. Like, we can't keep doing this. So they had to write a story, but they lost so much like goodwill with their audience that like by the time they finally sorted their shit out with a lot of the narrative plot points within Rick and Morty, a lot of people just didn't really give a fuck, to be honest. Like, a lot of people just didn't really care. Which, you know, that's their own fault. I feel like I'm one of those people. Like, I used to watch Rick and Morty, like, I was there from the beginning, like, when it first came out, and I would recommend it to a lot of my friends. But, like, I just didn't really care anymore because the show just refused to give a fuck. Like, what do you mean I care more than you? What do you mean I'm caring more about these characters than you do? Like, what? Like, I'm not gonna care more than you. That's just never gonna happen. Sorry, that's just never gonna happen. It hurt because I love Gendy's reach in shows like Primal, but when I heard about Fix, I was so disappointed. I don't know what to say. I mean, hey, maybe that's just his humor. That's his baby. That's like, originally I thought, oh, maybe that's just something that like he was a part of. No, he wrote the screenplay for that. That's his baby. That's all him. That's what he wanted to tell. So maybe that's just his humor. That's his passion project. I think you can like Fixed and you don't have to justify it to other people, and I also think that other people can just say that they don't like it because of whatever reason, because the trailer was bad, because it looks gross. I mean, like, two things can be true at the same time. I'm gonna get back to Girl from Nowhere because I'm still on that, but like, for example, I actually didn't like Hoppers. I watched it this week. I didn't like it. Everybody loves Hoppers, and I didn't like it. I'm not mad about it existing, but I'm like, I didn't like it. I did not like it. I was like, yeah, that's one that I'm just gonna sit there and eat. That's one I'm gonna sit there and eat. I didn't feel like I wasted my time or anything watching the movie, but like, I was like, not a movie for me personally. Not a movie for me, and I'm not gonna spoil it. That it was gonna be good. Well, it can be good to you. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I personally, that's why I keep saying I personally did not like it, but everybody else likes it. I just did not like it. Me saying that I didn't like it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means I didn't like it. Like, I could say a lot about Hoppers that I didn't enjoy. I could say a lot about Hoppers that I didn't enjoy, but I think sometimes, like, again, two things can be true at the same time. I think that's where a lot of people like fall with like nuance, right? Because yes, there are objective facts to a movie being good, right? Like cinematography, vocal direction, animation, all of these things add up to a good movie. And also you can watch something and then it could be it could be a perfectly animated movie and you could still just not connect with it, and that's also okay. That's fine. Like sometimes you judge things off of like traditional metrics, and sometimes you judge something off of the fact that you just didn't connect with it. And I personally just did not connect with that movie. I personally just did not connect with that movie. And I actually didn't like the protagonist. I did not. I think I'm too old. I think for me, I'm too old for this movie. For me, I'm too old for this movie. I think this will go bangers. This will go bangers at like a high school or like a middle school. Baby's first environmentalism movie. Yes. Yes, I could see myself like back when I was a nanny, I would definitely put this movie on. But like, this would definitely, I would put this movie on. I was like, it's a good movie, but like, I personally just did not like it. I could say a lot about why I did not like it, but like, I don't want to spoil it either. The movie just came out. You're acting different. If I wanted to be a contrarian, I would say something like, Pixar hasn't been good since Toy Story. Like, that's a real contrarian. If I wanted to be a contrarian, it's like people have that opinion where they're like, Pixar hasn't been good since The Invincibles. I'm like, that's not true. You're a liar. You're a liar, and you're also a hater. You're a liar and a hater. You're an unethical hater too. You're both. I'd be like, Disney hasn't been good since da 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 da. And it's usually just somebody's favorite movie. People just have a hard time being objective, right? Because there's your subjective truth and then there's like the objective fact. And it's like, as far as I can see, the facts are that people really like this movie, right? My subjective truth is that I didn't like that movie and I'm never putting it on again. So, never putting that movie on again. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, it was dog shit. Yeah, I just don't really fuck with it. I don't fuck with it. But to be fair, I don't fuck with a lot of movies. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I want to look at the this because this one was done by Walt Disney Studios. It wasn't done by Pixar. It's with Pixar. Featuring Pixar. Let me look at the Pixar. I want to see the Pixar roster. We're always looking at the Pixar roster. I want to see. Because, like, I think, like, Pixar and Walt Disney are still putting out good stuff, but it's very far and few in between, in my personal opinion. Because I like Soul. I actually have never watched Luca. It's on my watch list, but I feel like I'm going to cry when I watch that movie, so I just don't want to watch it yet. I'm not in the mood to cry, so I just haven't done it yet. I love Turning Red. Fully enjoy Turning Red. I think if you don't like Turning Red, I side eye you. I side eye the critique of Turning Red oftentimes because I did see a lot of people that were like, what do you mean they're talking about periods? I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, oh boy, I don't like the way you're critiquing this movie. I really don't like it because a lot of it just sounds like people that don't want to hear about like the femme perspective of growing up. It sounds like you just don't want to hear that because I fully identified with Turning Red. And I also saw, because when that movie first came out, a lot of white people, I'll just be very blunt and state that, a lot of white people were like very confused about the relationship that the main character has with her mom. And they were like, it's so exaggerated. It's not true. It's not true. Mei Mei is like such an exaggerated character, and the mom is like such an exaggerated character. I'm like, you have not been inside of an immigrant household. Just say that. Just say that. Just say you have not experienced a helicopter parent. Just say that. Just say that. Cause Mei Mei's mom, Mei Mei's mom, Mei Mei's mom is my parent. Mei Mei's mom was my parent. Mei Mei's mom? Whoa, I was like, that's my parent. All the way down to reading a diary? Yeah. And then punishing you for the stuff in the diary? Yeah. I was like, you guys just don't understand it, and that's fine. But don't say it's bad just because you personally have never understood the experience, right? Like, we have to be a little bit objective here. We have to be a little bit objective here. I'm gonna watch Project Hail Mary. I was supposed to do that today, but I didn't feel good, so I didn't feel good. But maybe by next week I'll watch it. We'll see. That's not true. Turning Red is like a cult classic now. People like that movie. They did not like it on. Well, when I say that, I mean like, you know, the anti-woke people. They didn't really like it on release, but. No, I'm saving that for after. We're talking about movies and TV right now. I'm gonna circle back to that once I'm done with like 6 other conversations, we're gonna talk about that. I have like 6 other conversations I want to do before we're talking about fruit. Because like Turning Red is a good movie. Turning Red is good. And has banger music in it. Banger soundtrack. I think if we're just talking about like the 2010s Pixar, Onward was a failure. I think Toy Story 4 should have never come out. Incredibles 2 should have never come out. That's my personal opinion. Coco was great. What else we got? Coco was great if I just don't think about the implications. Coco's an amazing movie, but then the minute I start thinking about like themes, I'm like, oh no, like, oh no, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I haven't watched Luca. Soul was great. Turning Red is great. Lightyear is a movie that never should have been made. Elemental is a controversial movie that people either connect with or don't, so kind of take that as you will. Inside Out 2 was fine. Inside Out 2 was fine. Elio, I haven't watched, so I can't speak to it. And I honestly don't want to watch it. The wins are taken out of my sales. The wins are taken out of my sales because they removed all the gay stuff. Like, I really wanted to watch it because they were like, gay character. And then they were like, no more. And I just kind of don't want to watch it anymore. And then I didn't like Hoppers, so. And Toy Story 5 is the next one that's coming out. I'm excited for Gato though. That one's coming out. I don't know why they're making a Coco too. Can't tell you. Can't tell you that one. Wish they weren't doing that. Really, really wish they weren't doing that. I mean, I'm a comic and superhero fan, and I didn't like Incredibles 2. Well, yeah, I'm being rhetorical. Like, the obvious answer is, like, they want to make money. But this is an English only chat, Z. You can't put non English in chat. It's an English only chat. English only chat, please. I can't translate messages. I just feel like the plot. I mean, there's like 600 billion zillion videos talking about Incredibles 2, but I feel like the plot was just very disjointed and not. There wasn't a very well written story, which, in my personal opinion, and I just didn't like it. Just didn't enjoy it. Animation though was nice. Animation was nice, but I'm hoping in Incredibles 3 they lock in. I need them to get it together. Get it together. Good luck on stream. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know not everybody's an English speaker, but I am, so that's kind of the rules we gotta set here. Am I looking forward to the new Spider-Man? I was until they started putting out all of those clips, and now I'm like, interesting. But I'm like, I wish they would stop releasing those stupid fucking clips. I wish they would stop doing that. I wish they would stop doing that, but keep doing that. This is fine. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch it, obviously. I think I've seen every single whatchamacallit MCU movie. Well, not every single. Ooh, I have to look at the list. MCU list. Because we're in phase 6 now. We're in phase 6. Yeah, I mean, I'm all caught up for the most part. I've seen all of them. Let's see, phase 5. Yeah, phase 5, Ant-Man, Guardians, I watched that. I didn't watch the Marvels. That's the one I haven't watched yet. And that's the one movie I haven't watched yet. I watched Deadpool and Wolverine. Actually, there's 2 movies because I didn't watch Captain America Brave New World either. I saw there was a Zionist in it, and I was like, I was like, oh, I don't want to watch Zionism, man. Like, I don't want to watch a Zionist in the main cast lead. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Even though I like Anthony Mackie and I want to support Black Man, but like, I can't follow you down that route. I'm so sorry, Mr. Mackie. I can't follow you. So I don't think I'm ever gonna watch that one. I might circle back to the Marvels at one point in my life. It's 12. Well, it's 12 for you. Everybody lives in different places, brain dead, so. I am excited for the new Spider-Man because it looks good, but I hate how the 4th movie. Yeah, I agree with that. I do not like the interpretation of Spider-Man in the MCU. I think a lot of the critiques are extremely valid that people have for it. And that's not, I'm not talking about Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland is a perfectly fine Spider-Man. I mean the way in which his character is written. That's what I'm like, I don't really like. He's just too slick. He's too clean cut. He's too baby. They like woobified him, you know? And it's like, like I'm down for any interpretation of Spider-Man because Spider-Man is my favorite character. Well, he's one of my favorite characters. My two favorite superheroes of all time are Spider-Man and Deadpool. So it's like I'm down for any interpretation somebody has of that, but like, no. But like, no, it didn't hit. It wasn't hitting. It wasn't hitting for me. We're gonna have to reset that. I didn't like that. We're gonna have to reset it. But they're like resetting it too late. Like as you're saying, like fourth movie, like fourth movie. Fourth movie. Now he's broken destitute. He should have been broken destitute. What are we doing? What are we doing? But you know, I'm sure that movie's gonna be fine. The problem that we have though in the MCU is Doomsday and the Secret Wars. Those are our problems. I can't even be worried about Spider-Man because I'm like, there's a bigger issue on the horizon. I see the Russo brothers doing dastardly things, so can you say something? I mean, why not just say it? No love interest. That's my go. Exactly. I mean, I know people meme about this all the time, but like genuinely, one of my favorite things about Spider-Man, which is why I connected to Spider-Man so much, um, is the fact that like, despite it all, he's still gonna do it. He's still gonna do it. Like, despite it all, like, he could be on the floor getting beat to death. He's like, one more day with New York. Like, he's still gonna do it. I find that to be, like, I find that trait in characters to just be so inspiring. And I like that he is always broke and lonely and sad. And he's still gonna put his foot forward and he's still gonna do it anyway. He's gonna do it. I mean, he'll be snarky about it, which I love. Because I'm snarky too. I think Spider-Man genuinely really shaped the person that I am. Because like I treat my life like that, where I'm like, I hate it. I hate having to do this shit. But I'm gonna complain and I'm still gonna do this shit anyway. I'm just gonna complain and do the shit anyway. Because no one else is gonna do this shit, so I have to do it. No one else is gonna do this shit, so I'm gonna do it. Suffering builds character. But suffering does build character. It does actually. Exactly. I agree, Churchill, regarding your statements about Doctor Doom being Romani. I immediately was like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't think Robert Downey Jr. should even be a part of this property anymore, to be honest. Like, you left. Why are you here? Like, you left. Why are you here again? Like, it feels cowardly on behalf of like the MCU for them to, it feels like they don't trust that these movies are going to do well, so they brought him back, which is like an obvious statement in my personal opinion. Maybe it's not obvious to other people, but it feels like they have no faith in the current phase, so they're like, oh, let's bring him back, let's bring him back, let's bring him back, let's bring him back. Let's just bring back nostalgia bait, guys. Don't you want that? Don't you like that? Also, how do I feel about the 1994 animated Spider-Man? Fine. Why? I haven't seen it in a really long time, so if there's like a certain character discrepancy, then like I don't remember it. I don't remember it. Like, I watched it in bits and pieces. I didn't really like watch it obsessively. I probably saw like a few episodes, if that. I liked the Moon Knight show enough. I think I think there was room for them to do a better job with Mark being Jewish, obviously, and I think there was just a better there was issues with that show regardless. So But if I just don't think about it, it's like one of those things where I'm like, if I don't think about it, but I can't not think about it. Can't not think about it, you know? There was issues to that show, but I liked it, and I think I only really liked it because it was carried by Oscar Isaac, because Oscar Isaac is just that good of an actor. I think if he wasn't in that role, I think more people would have bigger issues with the show. And I'm sad that I'm not gonna get more Moon Knight, because I don't think he's ever gonna do more. I forgot what Oscar Isaac said explicitly. Like he was like, I'm not gonna do it," or something like that. I'm probably not gonna find the quote. I saw it on forever ago. Because I don't think he's returning to that. We'll see. I don't know. Oh, we'll see. I was roughhousing with this guy. I walked away, and like 5 minutes later, he ran up to me and said, "You owe me a new pair of headphones." And now everybody's talking about how I broke his headphones. Well, like, why was he roughhousing with a pair of headphones in his pocket anyway? I don't think that's fair, because Jim Carrey said he's done with like Hollywood as a whole. But like it's very clear to me that like the Sonic movies are like a passion project. Like he just likes playing, he likes Sonic. Like like that's his passion project. And also like they didn't really know Sonic was going to be that popular, to be honest. Like I don't think anybody really thought the movies were going to do that well either. Like if I was rich, like if I was like a rich actor, I would do that same shit too. Like I would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm like done after a while," because like you don't have to do anything else. You'll just make money off of like royalties and like TV appearances and like movie appearances and whatnot. And then I just do passion projects, like weird shit on the side. I'd come out every now and again for like a product that I really like. I'd do the same shit. Wasn't even in his pockets, in his hand. Yeah, that just sounds like his fault. Because what do you mean you're roughhousing with somebody anyway? Like, like, like what do you mean? What do you mean you're roughhousing with somebody anyway? Like, what are y'all doing? Playing the WWE? Like, what's going on? Yeah, Secret Invasion was really bad. I want to see. I need the wiki article of like all the Marvel stuff that's come out, but I feel like I won't be able to see that. I mean, I'm very much like still interested in like Marvel productions, obviously, but I'm very much still interested in like Marvel stuff, but I just find it really hard for me to care, because it ends up being like pretty mediocre. Like a lot of stuff, and it just ends up being very mediocre. It's like all like mediocre. So I'm like, even when something is like decent, I'm like, nah. Captain Marvel should have been there earlier. Mm. And the Fantastic Four. I don't even think that's it. For me, at least. I think we just needed a break, and we just didn't get one. And I think that was like a really big misstep. And obviously, we were never going to get a break because money, and we live in a capitalist society. So, like, we were never going to get a break. But I think we should have gone a break. I really think we should have gone a break. Like, because there's no way that there's just no way that the fatigue just wouldn't have set in. Like, the fatigue was always gonna set in because we never had a break. And I think they're going too fast for their own britches. Like, they don't have time to really think about the whys of what they're doing. And, like, actually writing, like, good scripts. Because, like, for example, the multiverse saga, which is, like, the next phase, right? We're at the very start, the next phase. It starts with Black Widow. Already a mistake. Already a mistake. Because what do you mean we're starting with Black Widow? She's dead. She's dead. And I don't feel bad for spoiling that because, like, please, that movie came out in 2021. Please. She's dead. Then we do Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is fine because that movie was okay. But then they don't do anything else with it. They don't do anything else with it. They shelve Shang-Chi like nobody's fucking business. They shelved that shit with like nobody's fucking business. They said, even though the movie did fine. They were like, because they didn't know what they were doing. They had no idea what they were doing, which is why I'm saying they should have taken a break and reassessed. But instead, they were so money brain. They were like, we can't stop this fucking money train. So now Shang-Chi is in the fucking limbo. So then they were like, okay, let's do Eternals, even though nobody asked for that. But like, let's do Eternals, which, mind you, I genuinely think Eternals is one of the worst movies in that specific phase. But the Eternals is saved by the fact that Thor and Love and Thunder is still in this phase. So Eternals makes it out. People forget that Eternals is quite bad because Thor and Love and Thunder is in this phase. They forget. It's saved purely by that. But it's so bad. I actually think it would have been saved if they didn't make Eternals a movie and instead made it a Disney Plus television show. Because they needed way more time with all of those characters. So they should have just made it a television show. 12 episodes. There's something like that. And figure it out in like 2 seasons. That would have been better than anything that they did in that movie. Then we get No Way Home. Which is like, okay. Okay. I am a Spider-Man fan, as we have discussed. I am a Spider-Man fan, so I like this movie, and I don't really care that it is a nostalgia baity movie. But also, this is a weird-ass movie to be here. This is just in the context of all these other movies, weird-ass movie. Weird-ass movie to be here. I like this movie, but, like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Weird-ass movie. Weird-ass movie. Then next is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which I liked, but everybody hated, so what are we gonna say about that? I liked it because I thought it was fun. I had a good time. But I didn't like the way it ended, so... But I didn't like the way it ended, so let's just not talk about that. And then we get Thor, Love, and Thunder, which is one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my entire life. And I saw that movie in theaters, opening weekend. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I wish I could have gotten my money back, but I went with my family, and they all loved it because they don't have frontal lobes, I guess. I don't know. That's fine. That's fine. And I feel very comfortable saying that because I told them that in their faces when we went home. When we went home, I said, are you guys, like, lobotomized? Like, what movies? Like, what do you mean you guys loved it? What? Huh? But to be fair, my parent also loves anything live action that's on Netflix, so they were like, the Full Metal live action movie. It was great. I'm like, okay, I've had enough of you. I've heard enough from you. Thank you. And then we get to the best movie that's on this list, which is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, with some of the best performances and Ryan Coogler as director. Strange setup for your first phase. for your new phase. This opened the new phase. Strange set of movies. Strange. This was the indicator. This was the indicator that shit was wrong. This lineup of movies was the indicator that something wasn't going well at the MCU headquarters. Something wasn't going well. But then they just kept going because they were like, well, money. Of course. Money, of course. And then we get the next phase, which is Ant-Man and the Wasp. One of the worst movies I've ever seen, mind you. If you've never seen Quantumania, don't. Don't. But, like, if you want to torture yourself, feel free. It's CIA torture, so you can go do that. Then you get Guardians, which is good. It's good. And then the Marvels, which I have not seen, so I cannot tell you about it. I have not seen it, so I cannot tell you about it. And then Deadpool and Wolverine, which I'm going to say was bad. I'm going to sit here and look you in my eyes and tell you that's a bad movie, and I had a fine time watching it in theaters. I'm just going to look you in the eyes when I tell you this. But I think Deadpool and Wolverine is sold on the fact that you like Ryan Reynolds. You like Ryan Reynolds. You like the character of Deadpool. You want to see these two characters interact with each other. But when I really think about the movie, like as a movie, I'm like, oh no. No. And I actually think this is my real hot take. I think that all of the Deadpool movies are bad. That's my real hot take. I think they're all bad. And have I watched all of them in theaters? Correct, because I like Deadpool. So I'm gonna see it no matter what, because I am in this for life with Deadpool. So I'm gonna see it. But I think all of them, yes, I actually believe that. As movies, I don't think they're very good. I think they're very much... I mean, they're sold on the fact that, like, you like the character and you like Ryan Reynolds as the character. I think the story surrounding the movies is why people like them so much. Right? Where it's like, the story of Ryan Reynolds becoming Deadpool is the thing that brings people to the movies. Not necessarily the movies themselves. I think the movies themselves are not very well written. They're not that funny all the time. And that's not to say that there's funny jokes in them. There are. But, like, it's just not very good. And I actually don't really like the interpretation that Ryan Reynolds takes with Deadpool. Is my hottest take. My hottest take is that I actually don't really like the interpretation that he takes with them. That's not to say that he's a bad Deadpool. I personally am just not fond of that interpretation. If you're about to ask me what my favorite interpretation is, I don't have one. But I can tell you I don't like that one that much. I can tell you that much. Can tell you that much. He woobified him. Ryan Reynolds woobified Deadpool. And if you're like, what is a woobification? You haven't been on the internet long enough. Get a Tumblr page. Get a Tumblr page, please. So then you have Deadpool and Wolverine. Then you have Captain America Brave New World, which we just spoke about. And then you have Thunderbolts, which I like Thunderbolts. But Thunderbolts, frankly, is just too late in the game. That's my biggest thing. Thunderbolts feels like it's supposed to be the accumulation of so many other things, when in reality, it's not. Thunderbolts is like a pre-Avengers movie, but it doesn't feel like it really, because like we've got a bunch of these random fucking movies. We have a bunch of these random fucking movies. It's thrown it here and there. And it's like, what about Shang-Chi? What about Should we address that? Because like y'all shouldn't have made that movie then and replaced it with a different movie that would have, you know, integrated Thunderbolt, the setup for Thunderbolts in the Avengers, the new Avengers, a little bit better. That's just me. You weren't gonna keep up with that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that movie should have been here earlier. I think it's too late. They needed a restructure. My commentary here, my summarization of my words are that the structuring of how these movies are coming out is bad and wonky, and ultimately it has led to generally a failure of this new phase. They really fucked up the multiverse shit, in my personal opinion, which is sad because I love multiverse stories. It's some of my favorite stuff that they do in the comics. But it's like, they just did a bad job at structuring it. And I think, going back to my original statement, if they had just taken a break, they could have looked at all the pieces that they had on the table. And they could have said, okay, we're going to put this movie here, that movie there. Because, like, Thunderbolts really should have come out end of that first phase that I was talking about. Not the Black Panther movie. It should have been Thunderbolts. Should have been Thunderbolts. In my personal opinion. Obviously, nothing came out in the way that I just said, so there's nothing we can do about it, but that is what it is. Your hot take is that animation is easy. That's a hot take. Again, I can see all of these movies and have a great time in it, and I can sit back and critique it. Two things are true at the same time. I thoroughly enjoyed Thunderbolts. I've watched it 4 times. I've watched it 4 times. Have I watched it 4 times for a certain someone? Perhaps. Have I watched it 4 times for a certain someone? Perhaps. Perhaps. But that's neither here nor there. You think I watched that for Bucky? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I watched that shit for Century. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Absolutely not. You think my type is Bucky? Absolutely not. You think my type would have been John fucking racist ass Walker? Hell no. Hell no. John, I'm gonna kill an innocent man Walker? Hell no. Are you crazy? Gamma, you really don't know me. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. That's the most insulting thing I've heard all day. Hell no. Weird that you didn't say Florence Pugh, though, because I would have taken that answer, but no. I would have taken that answer, because she does look good in this movie, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. My reasoning for why I think Thunderbolt should have been at the end of the other one is because it started with Black Widow. Duh. So if you're going to start with that, you might as well have just capped it off with this. It would have made a thematic close to the story. And then you could have moved on to other shit. But instead they were like, we don't really know what we're doing. We don't really know what we're doing. And that's not even speculation. They're very open about it. The MCU has been in credit, which is weird too. I wish they would stop doing that. They've been extremely open this entire phase about how they genuinely have no fucking idea about what they're doing, especially as it pertains to the Avengers movies that are coming up. Especially as it pertains to those movies. They keep telling us. Everyone who's a part of that movie keeps telling us shit about the movie I don't want to hear. Yeah, we were on a blue screen for like 8 hours and I had no idea what was happening. I wish you would stop talking. I wish you would stop talking. I wish you would really stop telling us about that. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, we don't know who's gonna be in the movie. We really don't know. I mean, I think I was acting against somebody. I don't know. I'm like, please. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help me find confidence that this is gonna be a good movie. Please stop. And obviously, none of this was helped by the fact that, going back to what you were saying earlier, that Jonathan Majors is a piece of shit. So that kind of ruined that. But also, they shouldn't have done what they did anyway. So I can't even feel bad for the MCU, honestly. Like, Kevin Feige, whoever is in charge at this point in time. But, like, I can't even feel bad for them because, like, why did they do that? Was that the end of Quantumania? Like, I don't know why they revealed that, like, Kang was, like, all the same. Like, there was, like, a whole collection of Kangs. I don't know why they did that. They didn't have to do that. So I can't even feel bad, really. Because they actually didn't even have to do that. I'm like, you guys shot yourselves in the foot. What am I supposed to say about that? Now they gotta scramble. Now they gotta scramble. Like, they weren't already scrambling. They were already scrambling before this nonsense was happening anyway. But now they gotta scramble twice. Try to fix that shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Made a mistake. I'm not one of those people that think that, you know, the movies have to be very aligned with the comics. I don't think that. I think they could have taken artistic liberties, but I really don't know why they did that. It's just, I think they just got too big for their britches. I really just think, I think they got too big for their britches. You know? A little too big for their britches. And to an extent, they're kind of right to be a little bit too big for their britches, because while Phase 6 has been a complete failure, generally amongst audiences, and when I say that, I mean, like, I shouldn't say Phase 6, the multiverse saga on the whole has been like a failure. Critically, financially, they're doing perfectly fine. So I think, like, superheroes are kind of too big to fail for the MCU. You know, so it's like, they can just keep doing this. They can just keep doing this, because who's gonna, who's rating it poorly? I mean, people are rating it poorly, but it's like, you know, they're not gaining financial destruction or anything like that, so they're just gonna keep going. They're just gonna keep going until the movie's really flop. They're just gonna keep going. Which is sad. I don't like that, but no one's also forcing me to watch these movies either, so watch the movies or the TV shows. No one's really forcing me to do anything. I will say, though, I'm excited for the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man whenever that one comes back. It's supposed to come back this year. I actually like that one, so happy about that. That's all I can be happy about. That's all I can be happy about. And then I know earlier someone said they prefer DC. I like both. It's like two cakes for me, you know? I'm not like, oh, there's only one cake. I'm like, two cakes. I like both. I like both. My favorite superhero in DC is Batman. Generic answer, but that's true. You want Shrek 5? I don't even know if I want Shrek 5, but I'll watch it when it comes out. I just think the DC movies are hit or miss comparatively. I mean, obviously Marvel's on a bad streak, but, like, on the whole, it's more consistently good than DC. However, the independent stuff I like more. The independent stuff I like more, like when it's like Batman, for example. Like, I'm not really into, like, the MCU of, oh, sorry, not the MCU, the DCU. But like Batman, thoroughly enjoyed. Can't wait for Batman 2. Robert Pattinson, lock in. Robert, lock in for me. Actually, thought Joker was fine. I thought it was fine when it came out. I liked it. I'm worried because of what's going on in the Green Lantern movie, especially because Batman and Superman have been good movies. I like Superman quite a bit. I watched that one twice. I watched it 2 times. What happened to my shirt? Somebody redeemed to take it off. It's a redeem on Twitch. And it's a jacket. It's not a shirt. It's a jacket in my pants. My sister forced me to watch Twilight. The second movie is genuinely rage bait. It's only rage bait if you allow yourself to get rage baited. I think the Twilight movies are fun. Hi, Who's. Hi-oh. The Twilight movies are fun. Like, because they're stupid. They're stupid. The source material is not good, so... I don't hate Batman because Wonder Woman isn't getting anything. It's just like, that just means that people don't like women. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at Batman because people are misogynistic. Like, And to be fair, she did get something. It's just you might not like what she got. She got those movies. You just don't like those movies. To be fair. To be fair. Hey, listen. Kal-El. Kal-El, no. With Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot. Hand me the stone. Hand me the stone. Our favorite Zionist. Kal-El, no. No, I think those movies are bad. I mean, I've seen them both in theaters. I think the first one's like an easier watch than the second one. The second one's like, you can't even get through it, to be honest. But like, the first one's like an easier watch, but I think they're both bad. I think the majority of the DCEU is, yeah, DCEU is bad. That's like the old DCEU. The new one. Let's see. Like, let's find out. Let's find out together, you know. Because I want to watch Supergirl. Supergirl's not my favorite of anything, really, but I'll go watch that. And then Clayface, it's like, I'll go watch that. I'll go watch that. I'll watch that. I'll see that. Might be my gains talking about I don't see the appeal in the movie and I don't like Edward or Jacob. I don't even like Bella. Well, you weren't really around for the... Well, okay. So, you can have that opinion and also, like, you can say that, like, I wasn't around for, like, the fanaticism of it. You know? Because, like, Twilight, whether you like it or not, was, like, a cultural moment in time. And I personally don't like Twilight. I have a lot of issues with Twilight. I think Stephenie Meyers is a woman that has done a lot of harm for the Native American community, which is something that you can go watch on YouTube. Its own thing. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 My leg. Ow. Just pulled my hamstring. Ah, ow, 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 ow. There's a lot of great content creators that have made a lot of essays about Twilight and its cultural significance and also its issues, so you can go watch a lot of those. But, like, I'm not gonna, shit on people for liking Twilight. I'm not gonna shit on people for liking Twilight, honestly, because I think a lot of the criticisms of it, outside of the cultural issues with it, because there are many, are just really rooted in misogyny. Like, people just hate things that women like. Right? Like, people find it cringe that, like, people would like Edward, Twilight, Jacob, all of these things. Because at the end of the day, a huge draw to Twilight is the self-insertness of it. Like, Bella is a blank character because it's a fantasy. I mean, it was a fantasy for the author, and it's a fantasy for the reader. It's escapism. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's stupid. And stupid. It's just, like, not really for me. It's not really for me. And I think it's fun. Like, I think those movies are fun. Like, if you're ever gotten drunk and watch those movies are fun. They're, like, very camp. They're fun. And it makes it even funnier knowing that, like, everybody that was a part of those movies, they're really in it for a check. And you would do it too for a check. Robert Pattinson always talks about how he hated those movies, which is so hilarious to me. Anna Kendrick is in that movie, in the first movie. I actually don't remember if she's in the other ones, but everybody was in it for a check. Like, I respect it. Yeah, and also I don't think there's anything wrong with him being known as a Twilight guy either, because I don't think Twilight is, like, a demeaning role. Like, he got the movies that he got because he was the Twilight guy. Right, like, he wouldn't have risen to cultural significance if he wasn't the Twilight guy, so... Supposed to get a game, but it got canceled. Yeah. Again, I just think, like, people don't really like women, but... People don't really like women, but I'm not gonna be like, I hate Batman because of it. I still like Batman, and I like Wonder Woman too. I think Wonder Woman was my favorite for a long time, and I just switched over. Switched over to Batman. For no reason, I just switched over to Batman because I wanted to. I just swap depending on how I feel. Right now, it's Batman. Right now, it's Batman who's my favorite. But we'll see how those movies go. I also think, as you were saying, memes earlier, I'm hesitant. I know everybody's, like, very gun-brained because they really liked Superman. I'm like, I want to see the proof in the pudding. Like, I want to see the proof in the pudding. Sorry, I'm not idolizing this random fucking guy. I don't personally know. That's just me. Like, I don't fucking know James Gunn. Like, yeah, he's put out some good movies. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't get me wrong. I think Peacemaker is okay. Like, I like those movies. I like those productions. Listen. The proof will be in the pudding. Please show me the rest. I need consistency before I pat you on the back. I'm gonna need to see the rest. Talking about the DCEU. Okay, let me see it. Let me see how this plays out. Let me see how the rest of this plays out before I pat you on the back. That's just me. Because I didn't like the way Green Lantern was looking. There was nothing green. There was nothing green going on there. But, you know, let's just wait. Let's just wait. Let's find out together. We're all gonna find out together. Mm-hmm. Here, let me close out Wonder Woman tabs on me. Wow, let me look real quick. I thought they would have had everything like on the website, on their official website, but nay. I thought I would have had like everything coming up. Feels like they should, shouldn't they? They should be like not MCU, DCU, all the movies. Instead, they got the cartoons. They said, if you want to watch the DCU, let's start with some cartoons. What? Let's start with some cartoons. I mean, they got the Batman front and center, and then it's like cartoon. cartoon. For me, DC has always been about the cartoons, because I just don't think they do live action particularly consistently well compared to the MCU. But, again, the proof will be in the pudding. We're going to have to wait and see. Yeah, to me it feels like sometimes DC, and when I say that I mean like the previous, because we obviously don't know what the new DCEU is going to look like now that they rebooted it, but like it felt like in the previous iteration of the DCEU that they were like embarrassed of a lot of their characters. That's what it felt like to me. They were like not woobifying them to the degree that Marvel does, but like trying to make it like cool. Like cool, like it's all cool here. We're not like these other guys that are making jokes about shit. Shit's cool over here. And it's like, well, we can have a little bit of jokes, like we can acknowledge the green, like what's going on here? It's not cringe that things would be green. It's called a Green Lantern. I want things to be green. I want things to have color. I think I want that, yeah. Like, it felt like they were doing like a too cool for school thing, and I especially felt that when it came to like Superman in the past iteration of the DCEU. Too cool for school. He's hardcore. And it's like, I've never thought of Superman as hardcore. Like, that is not how I associate Superman. Like, Superman's the type of guy that I would like ask to get my like cat out of a tree. Like, that's what I think of when I think of Superman. Like Superman is the type of guy who would save me from a burning building, even if I'm the only person in that fucking building. Instead, I'm watching in Man of Steel how he's breaking everything. Killing hundreds of civilians. He's just too cool. He's just too cool. But again, I will see. Can't speak on it because it's not there yet. So I had like a whole hour, but I'm ready to get back into that Go from Nowhere conversation. I'm ready to get back into that Girl from Nowhere conversation. Where did I leave off on that one? Because I had a whole structure of how I wanted... Oh, is the playlist done? Oh, no, that's just the end of that. I was like, oh, playlist is done. I had a whole structure. It's just a really long end credit. Weird. Anyway, so Girl from Nowhere, the reset is really, really bad. It's really awful. And what's worse is, so in the context of Girl from Nowhere, it's not just about students, but a primary focus. I can't hear anything. Did I turn on the volume? Yeah, you missed the first half of this conversation, so if you missed it, you missed it. But I'm just going to launch into the rest of the conversation because I already spoke about the first half, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But, like, just going back to the conversation from, like, an hour ago, because I wasn't done. I said I would circle back. It's not just about the culture within schools in Thailand. It's also about... Thank you so much for the follow. Thanks much. Hope you're doing well day, night, wherever you are. But but like a majority of the stories within the anthology series are about school life, right? Are about like high schoolers, middle schoolers, etc. Like mostly high schoolers, but it's about like the culture within these school systems, i.e., like rape culture, i.e., performance culture, etc., etc., etc. Go off, go on, forever and ever. The latest set of episodes also got a lot of controversy because they partnered with a lingerie brand, which was weird. Which was weird because the storylines are about kids. Are about kids. So it's weird that they would partner with a lingerie brand. Additionally, it's extra weird because I watched the first, and we talked about this about an hour ago. I watched the first 3 episodes, and in episode 2, it's about, well, it's a little bit about rape culture, but it's about upskirting within the school system. And if you don't know what like upskirting is, it's when people look up the skirts of young girls or women in general. And this one was about boys at the school taking pictures of the students, of the female students, and the girls kind of being punished for it. And at the end of the episode, which is so strange, I won't explain the rest of the episode to you because you really don't need to hear about what happens in that episode. But like at the end of the episode, they show the main character who isn't a real high schooler. Again, I explained this earlier, but like she's a physical embodiment of karma. Hi, Evil. Hi, Prototype. Hi-o. She's the physical embodiment of karma. So she's not an actual girl. I mean, she is, but she's not. Like, she's portraying a girl, but she's not real. She's like an entity, right? That comes through these schools in order to teach lessons, essentially. They show. It sounds awesome, but it's not. It's not. Please don't watch this show. It sounds awesome, but it's not. I wish it was. If the Japanese version is good, I'll talk about that on stream when it comes out. I'll watch that and I'll let you know. I'll save you. I'll save you the trouble. Just don't watch this. So, don't watch this. It's really, really bad. Like, they're doing such a bad job with this reboot. It's really bad. They show the girls, like, underwear. And it's the underwear from the collaboration. And it has her name on it. So the character's name is Nano. The entity's name is Nano. And they have it like bedazzled. And I'm like, the whole episode, it's so incongruent because the whole episode is about like how, yes, you're missing the first half of this conversation, Axel. You just have to accept that you're missing the first half of this conversation. Hi, yo. Oh my gosh. Wowza, wowza, wowza. I don't know if the overlay played. That's weird. I don't know if the overlay played or not. But thank you so much for the raid. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. It did. Oh, thank you. I just can never see because I only have one monitor. I only have one monitor and I have like 6 different things on, so I actually don't see myself when I'm streaming. So I'm like, I have no idea what's showing up for you guys because I can't see any of that. I have like everything else on covering my screen. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. Hi, hello, readers. My name is Puppkats. I'm an asexual, non-binary sex demon after nothing but your heart. Mwah. Let's cut out for me, won't you? I use they, them pronouns. They, them, theirs. And right now, I'm yapping. We talked about the MCU earlier, the DCEU. I have not gotten to my main topics of the night, but we will. I'm just talking about other stuff because I want to talk about that first. I'm talking about this TV show called Girl from Nowhere. If you know, you know. If you don't know, I already explained it like 2 hours ago, but now I'm back on this conversation because I didn't finish. So I didn't finish, so now I gotta start. I gotta finish that before we can move on to anything else. This is not an anime. This is a live action, so it's worse actually. This is a live action television show. This is not an anime. It's not based on an anime either. It's like just a television show. So if you need to leave, if you came into the raid, need to leave because you're hungry, tired, or sleepy, feel free to exit stage left. You can go exit. I am curious though, Eval, what you were talking about. I am curious what you were talking about. If you want to share, but if you're also tired and need to leave, you can also exit. I want you to take care of yourself because we really care about physical and mental health here. Like, it's just so strange because in the context of the show, in the context of the episode, right? Like, they show... I have to explain this episode. I'm trying not to explain the episode because I hate this episode, but, like, I have to explain it. I have to explain this. Oh, the new episode of The Amazing Digital Circus. Oh, okay. Yeah, The Amazing Digital Circus is not for me, but it can be for everybody else. Not for me, but it can be for everybody else. I watched, like, 3 episodes of it or something like that, and I was like, it's not for me. Y'all have fun, though. Y'all enjoy. I don't think it's a lot. I actually don't think it's doing enough. That's my critique. But I don't have time to really get into it because it's my personal feelings, and I don't feel comfortable, frankly, sharing. I don't feel comfortable really sharing my feelings about it compared to like other shows because like it'll just feel mean, to be honest. Like it'll just feel mean, and like I'm not really trying to make people feel bad for liking what they like. So I'm like, you just enjoy it. You enjoy it. You have fun. You have fun. Not for me. I feel the same way about like Has Been Hotel and everything like that, where I'm like, it's the type of show where I have a lot of critique for it. Like The Amazing Digital Circus, I have a lot of critique for it, but I'm just not going to give my critique for it because, frankly, the fandom is quite childish. Like, it is not a mature fandom, which is to say they cannot handle critique. So I'm not trying to give it because I don't feel like receiving hate messages at this point in time in my life. So, like, I don't feel like we're doing that. So I'm just not going to. I'll be in big trouble. That's why I'm like, I'm not going to share. It's fine. And that's okay. Like, I can just say it's not for me and then we can just move on. We can just move on. There are so many other things that I can critique and I can talk about that have mature fan bases, so it does not have to be something that I have to talk about. Especially because I don't even feel that passionately about it. I just have critique, so I'm like, I don't feel that passionately about it for me to really get in arms. So I'm like, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. I feel a little bit more passionately about Has Been Hotel because I think the rhetoric in Has Been Hotel is quite bad and actually harmful. There are some aspects in that show that are genuinely harmful, especially because the fan base in Has Been Hotel swings a lot younger than the fan base in The Amazing Digital Circus, which is quite odd to me. Not that the fan base is younger, but that both fan bases can't take criticism. I'm like, oh, I would have thought that The Amazing Digital Circus would have been able to handle it a little bit more because they're a little older, but no, they're like the same. So they're like the same. But that's fine. Again, it's like, well, that's somebody else's job. Somebody else will do it for me. And I'll just like the post. It's fine. I'll like it. You can take the heat. It's okay. But yeah, if you need to exit, please go do that. Take care of yourself. I don't know how long your stream was, but I know after I have just chatting streams. I know if I have just chatting streams, I'm like very pooped after. I mean, like, I just know because it's happened to me before that, like, when I speak about things, I'm a very opinionated person. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I actually think that's like a good thing. I think more people should be more opinionated. If you enjoy something, you should have an opinion about something. That's just how I feel about it. You should think critically about things that you even enjoy. That's just how I feel about it. So even things that I like, I have critique for because I like the thing. So why wouldn't I have critique for it? But like I tend to notice that like when I share my opinions about things, they tend to go viral or blow up. So and then I have everybody beating my back in because nobody on the internet has like nuance. So then I'll get like accused of like not liking something, even though like I can like something and critique it. So I'm like, this is not even. It's not even. And I'm not really even in that fan base like that. So I'm not even in the fan base like that. So let me just step out. Let me step out. I'd rather get my back beaten in for something that like I actually really, really like. And then it's like, okay, well, I said my piece. I said my piece about it. Y'all can just hate it anyway. Anyway, just to summarize, I'm off this topic about the Girl from Nowhere. I'm like over it at this point. But like just to summarize, that episode was really bad because it was showing, it felt contradictory because the whole episode was about how obviously it's bad to take upskirt pictures of girls. Duh. But then they show Nano's underwear with like the bedazzled because they're in a collaboration with a lingerie company, which is weird that they're in a collaboration with a lingerie company because the stories all have to deal with like high schoolers. So like why are we doing this exactly? Why are we everything is like so incongruent. So I'm rooting for the downfall of that show. I really am. I really am. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. I'm hoping, begging, crossing my fingers that the Japanese version, because this is the Japanese version will be the third version of this show. I hope that version ends up being good and that one comes out next month. So I'll let you know if it's good or not. If they finally hit their stride, I'm hoping. Because they're not gonna, man, I don't think this one's getting a season 2. It's just, I really don't believe it. It's problems with fan bases. There's a lot of minority that have a problem. Someone doesn't watch the episode correctly. I think it depends on the fandom because sometimes it's not even the loud minority. Like it's just the way the fandom is set up. Because sometimes, again, I'm not talking about like Has Been Hotel or The Amazing Digital Circus or any of these others. I'm just talking in a very general sense. But like sometimes these creators create the environment for these fan bases to exist, i.e., not inviting criticism into the space. Some creators do that where they sick their fans onto people that have critique for them. So I can't necessarily say it's just like a loud minority if the creator themselves set up the parameters of the fan base, right? I think it just kind of depends. Let's talk about Chappell Roan because that's on my docket. And then we'll talk about tomatoes because that was on my docket from yesterday, but I want to talk about who we should be throwing tomatoes at first and then talk about tomatoes. And then talk about tomatoes after. That just made the most sense to me. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about BTS. Actually, yeah, no, we'll do it like that. Then afterwards, we'll talk about BTS after that. Then after, we're talking about BTS. So first and foremost, I'll explain the Chappell Roan situation. So if you didn't know, this all happened today. I got to watch it live. Oh, it's so great. I love when I get to see things unfold in front of my eyes. It's beautiful. Also, update, as an aside from yesterday's JoJo stream. They have no clue what they're doing with JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Netflix, when I catch you. 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 You need to be afraid. You need to be afraid when I catch you. They have no clue what they're doing. And I also don't like people. Obviously, this is going to happen all the time. I hate it when people speak about things and they have no clue what they're talking about. That's an aside, but I cannot stand it. Because why are JoJo Bizarre Adventure fans telling me, oh no, they actually have 8 episodes that they have already created? How do you know that? How do you know that? You don't know that because nobody said that. You're making shit up. You're making shit up. And what's worse is you're talking with such authority. I hate you. When I catch you, when I catch you, you'll need to run because I have tomatoes for you. You'll need to run. You will. You'll need to run quickly. You better hope you can bob and weave because my aim is pretty good. I hate it when people speak about things with authority when they actually have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Why are people so confident? You have no clue. Where's your source? Source? This is what they taught you back in school. This is why we need to open up the schools. Open them up quickly. Some of you didn't, and this is gonna sound mean. Some of you weren't paying attention in class. When your teachers told you to cite your sources, you weren't listening. You were probably playing Subway Surfers. You need to lock in. People weren't paying attention in school, and that's why we have people speaking about things that they don't understand. You need to cite your source when you're speaking about things. You really got to. Steel Ball Run is not bad. It's actually the opposite. It's actually the opposite. So, for context, this is now an aside, but like, for context, yesterday we had a 6-hour Joe's Bizarre Adventure stream. Great stream. Fun. Did a whole like ranking of the characters from parts 1 to 6 because part 7 came out. Episode 1 of part 7 came out this week. And I was so excited because I love Joe's Bizarre Adventure. But what happened was they released episode 1, which is an hour long. They released episode 1, a whole hour long. And wait, why did you put the star dump? What was that fixing? There's a certain... Wait, what was that fixing? What comment was that fixing? Maybe I didn't see it because it got... it got auto-modded? It got auto-modded? So they released episode 1. It was great. It was beautiful. Fantastic animation. Everybody's excited, right? They're like, oh, delicious. I ate that delicious meal. Delicious. When is episode 2? Obviously, it's going to be next week, right? We're going to do a weekly release, perhaps. Not going to do batch. We're not going to do batches, right? We're not going to do batches like we did with Stone Ocean. We're going to actually do a weekly release, right? And so what had happened was Netflix released a comment on Instagram saying that they were going to do weekly releases. So everybody screenshotted that and they were sharing that around. Within the hour, that got deleted. So then everybody was like, okay, what happened there? So then a bunch of false information was coming out until an interview released with the director of Joe's Bizarre Adventure, the latest part, where he was like, I'm glad everybody likes episode 1. I'd love to know when episode 2 comes out. And everybody was like, huh? because what are you talking about? You don't know. You're the it's like walking into Subway and you being like, I wonder what sandwich is going to be made. You are the sandwich artist. What do you mean? What sandwich? You are in charge of making the sandwich. What are you talking about? So now there's no information about whether or not what is going on. And apparently, according to the director, they're still working on the fucking show, which is why everybody's like, why did Netflix release episode 1 if they're still working on the show? Because this completely kills the momentum of the entire show. Because if I have to wait a whole year to watch the rest of Steel Ball Run, somebody's going to have to fight me. I don't want to watch episode 2 in the fall. I want to watch episode 2 next week. You shouldn't have showed me episode 1. You shouldn't have done that. Why did you do that? And there's no logical sense. Did something bite me? I'm not reading it. I'm not reading the manga. I'm not doing it. I'm not reading it. You can't make me. I'm not doing it. And it's not because I don't want to, because I think the manga is going to be bad or something like that. It's just because I've been waiting and now I've gotten a taste. I've already eaten it. It's like we went to the Cheesecake Factory and I got a delicious slice of cheesecake. and you only let me have the tip. Like, what? I want the rest. I've only got a morsel. I've only got a quick taste. We are at the Cheesecake Factory. I want more. It is not 2 cheesecakes. That is not what that is. That's like you gave me a taste, and then now you're just telling me to breathe in the air. It's the same experience. Just breathe in the air. It's the same as you tasting it. Just breathe in. We're at the Cheesecake Factory. Just breathe in the sense of the cheesecake. It's like, no, I want to eat it. I want to taste it. I want it in my mouth. So, Netflix, When I Catch You. And I don't understand. I know some people are saying, like, oh, Netflix is actually hiding information. And they actually have, like, 8 episodes. I don't know where this information is coming from, because that doesn't make any fucking sense. That doesn't make any fucking sense. What are people talking about? If Netflix had 8 episodes, why wouldn't they just tell us next week you guys are getting another episode? Don't they want people to buy subscriptions? Because people were doing that. So why? People were getting subscriptions so they can watch Steel Ball Run. This is incongruent with the money-making factory. They would just tell everybody, next week you guys get another one. Weekly release. Instead, no one has any information. So Netflix, When I Catch You, you'll be dealt with. Netflix, When I Catch You, you will be dealt with. Really, really, really. So that's the whole Steel Ball Run situation. Update. Hi, Billy. Hi, you. Yeah, my tummy stopped hurting, so I feel better. So back to what I was saying about Chappell Roan. So let me explain the Chappell Roan situation. That's what people are doing with Black Cat and Marvel Rivals, is people saying they made her too sexualized. And she's dressed the exact same. Is Black Cat the one that had that, is Black Cat the one that had the poster of her with the, like, the rope or the string coming out of her ass? I will say that's crazy. I understand why everybody was upset about that, because she looks crazy. But if that's her, she looks crazy. Yeah. It's just bad. That art was just bad. They should have scrapped that. She looks crazy. Why is it coming out of her coochie? Why is, like, the string pulling her, like, that's supposed to lead her to the items coming out of her coochie? It just didn't look very good. So I can understand that, but I was like, there are better positions we could have done this in, because she looks crazy. Also, thank you for the thirsty and the red of my check and the head pads. Thank you. But the Chappell Roan. So, this all happened over the course of today. Chappell Roan is in hot, hot water, and deservedly so, in my opinion. Throw tomatoes. I think we should all be throwing tomatoes. Chappell Roan, I think, gets a lot of shit. Some of it is justified. Some of it is unjustified, because people hate her because she's a woman, and also hate her because she's a lesbian. Additionally, and if you're like, who is Chappell Roan? She's a singer. She did Pink Pony Club, which I actually like that song, and Good Luck Babe. Got extremely popular. Used to be like an online content creator, I think mostly on TikTok, before she like blew up within the last like 2 years. Chappell Roan has been in multiple controversies over the course of, frankly, the last year, because she's really bad with the press, and it seems as though she does not want to be famous. Obviously, nobody knows, but the way in which she moves through fame makes it feel as though she doesn't want to be famous. I think this is a case example of that, because the way in which she's handled this is bad. So it's just point blank bad. So I'm going to read off so I'm going to explain it actually before I read this off. So Chappell Roan was spotted at, well, she wasn't spotted. She's at a hotel, right? This extremely famous, which I'm not all up to date on every single football player in the world, so forgive me if I mispronounce his name. I'm going to try my best. But a Brazilian football player, his family was staying at the same hotel as Chappell Roan. His daughter is a huge fan. I was eating her up too. I was there. I was live eating her up as the story was unfolding. I was like, get her. Get her. But I'm gonna explain. Um, his wife and daughter were at the hotel. They were eating breakfast. His daughter is a huge Chappell Roan fan. She saw the daughter, who's 11 by the way, saw Chappell Roan, went to go confirm that it was her, smiled at her, did not bother her, did not like walk up and ask for anything, just like smiled at her and then went back to her dinner or went back to her breakfast with her mom. Because she just wanted to confirm that it was her. Because I mean, like, it could have just been some random redhead, right? Who knows if it was actually Chappell Roan? So she went. The girl like saw it was Chappell Roan, just smiled, went back and had breakfast like with her mom. What happened after is that apparently a security guard from Chappell Roan's team went up to the wife and daughter and explained that the daughter shouldn't be harassing and disrespecting Chappell Roan, and that the security guard was going to file a complaint with the hotel, leading to the child crying and being very panicked about the whole situation. So the Brazilian football player, whose name is Jorginho, I don't know if it's any of the letters are silent. I've actually never heard his name said out loud. So I'm going to read his statement because he posted this today, actually. Like, again, this all unfolded in the last few hours. Also, if you do not have a Twitch Prime, Turbo, or Sub, you are about to see ads in about 30 minutes. Sorry, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds. 30 minutes, crazy. About 30 seconds. So good luck, Charlie. You're about to see 3 minutes of advertisements. He posted, and he's very famous, by the way. He has 5 million followers. Like, he's an extremely famous, rich Brazilian football player. Like, you know, in my personal opinion, he has no reason to lie about this. Because, like, why would he lie about this happening? So this all unfolded because he posted this statement to his Instagram story. So I'm going to read out the statement for you. So he said, I went through a very upsetting situation with my family earlier today. My wife in Sao Paulo for Lollapalooza. This morning, my daughter woke up extremely excited. She even made a sign because she was so happy to see an artist that she really admires or used to admire. So Chappell Roan is obviously in Sao Paulo because she had a performance today. So this is all where it took place, obviously. He said, by coincidence, they're staying at the same hotel as this artist. During breakfast, the artist walked past their table. My daughter, like any child, recognized her, got excited, and just wanted to make sure it was really her. And the worst part is she didn't even approach her. She just walked past the singer's table, looked to confirm it was her, smiled, and then went back to sit with her mom. She didn't say anything, didn't ask for anything. What happened next was completely disproportionate. A large security guard came over to their table while they were still having breakfast and began speaking in an extremely aggressive manner to both my wife and my daughter, saying that she shouldn't allow my daughter to disrespect or harass other people. Honestly, I don't know at what point simply walking past the table and looking to see if someone is there can be considered harassment. He even said he would file a complaint against them with the hotel while my 11-year-old daughter was sitting there in tears. My daughter was extremely shaken and cried a lot. I've lived with football, public exposure, and well-known people for many years, and I understand very well what respect and boundaries are. What happened there was not that. It was just a child admiring someone. It's sad to see this kind of treatment coming from those who should understand the importance of fans. At the end of the day, they are the ones who build all of this. I sincerely hope this serves as a moment of reflection. No one should have to go through this, especially not a child. At Chappell Roan, without your fans, you would be nothing. And to the fans, she does not deserve your affection. Crazy ass statement. Like, crazy ass statement. Ate her up. Ate her up. I was down for it. I was like, ooh, this is not good. This is not good. This is bad. This is really bad. And at first, so when this first broke, right? Chappell Roan's fans, mind you, as a preface for the rest of this, Chappell Roan has not made a single statement so far, because the story is all still unfolding, on any of this. Except for one, which I'll get to, at her concert, which she just had. I'll get to that when we get to that. But, like, actually, I'll just say it now. She thanked her security at the concert. That's all I'll say. That's the only thing she said, which is crazy, considering I'm sure she knows. And you might be like, how does she know that this is all happening if she has a concert? Because this took off extremely fast, because this guy is extremely famous. And the daughter, which I'm sure Chappell Roan did not know, which again brings up the conversation of like who deserves respect, because it seems as though Chappell Roan is only really respectful to people that she deems as worthy of her own respect. Because I'm sure she thought that kid was just like a rich kid or like some random nobody staying at the hotel as her. I'm sure she did not think that this was Jude Law's daughter, because it is. So it turns out that this is Jude Law's daughter. Um, and this Brazilian football player is actually her stepfather, but I mean, he calls her daughter because I mean that's respectful. That's respectful. And they have like a tight relationship, right? So if you're like, who is Jude Law? Jude Law is like an extremely famous actor. I mean, like he's done, I don't know. I mean, done everything. I mean, he's done everything. I mean, Sherlock Holmes, played young Dumbledore in Fantastic Beasts, was in Steven Spielberg's AI. Extreme, like, I don't know, extremely famous actor. Like, he's one of like the Hollywood elites, if you will. Grand Budapest Hotel, you know, stuff like that. Like, he's in stuff. Is he my favorite actor? No, but that's not what we're talking about. He's just like one of the Hollywood elites, right? So this is bad. This is really bad. Because it's not like it would have already been bad if she had made, in my personal opinion, it would have already been bad if she had made fun. Not sorry, I shouldn't say make fun, but like if she had bullied, because I do believe she was bullying that girl. And I'll explain why, because I know I tweeted about this, and then people were already quote tweeting me being like, what do you mean bullying? It's bullying to sick your security guard and an 11-year-old girl. I don't understand why this doesn't click for people. She's 11. Because people are like, it might have been the security guard that went off on their own. I know I'm getting off into like people's reactions before finishing the story, but like I cannot help it, because people are really like, what if the security guard went and did this all on their own? So you think the security guard let's just follow this let's just follow this for a minute. You think the security guard of his own volition walked up to the 11-year-old girl and said, I'm gonna do dun 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 dun? Like, security guards aren't paid, like they aren't paid to do whatever the artist tells them to do. Have you ever worked in security? I feel like a lot of people have worked in security before, or haven't like known somebody that's worked in security. If the security guard tells you like, hey, go deal with that person, you go deal with that person. So sounds to me like she did that, because why would the security guard leave the table of the person that they are securing to go harass an 11-year-old unless they were told to do that? Right. Because that's how security works. So she did go bully that 11-year-old. That's what that was. She bullied her. So this is really bad for Chappell Roan, because it's not just one famous person, right? Jude Law. It's also this Brazilian football player. And if you don't know anything about Brazil, they love football. And when I say football, I mean soccer, obviously. I'm talking about the world. I'm not talking about the American football. I'm talking about the world, the true soccer, the true football, the true football for the rest of the world. But like, also upsetting, this extremely famous, seemingly beloved, I don't know this guy from a bag of chips, but like it seems like he's uncontroversial, extremely beloved by a lot of people. His daughter, who was a fan of her to begin with, like you can see in the, if you go look up the actual post, like the Instagram story, she has this cute little sign that she was gonna hold up at the concert, because she was gonna go to the concert, that says like hot to go, I'm watching Chappell Roan, like that she made for herself. You're gonna start the next pandemic. Interesting. I'm just gonna delete that comment, okay? I know you're looking for attention, but not here, okay? I'll just delete that. Don't do it again, okay? Don't type another one, okay? If you do, I'll have to get ya. Don't do that again, okay? I was like, she's already a fan of yours, but like, girly, she's 11. Like, I don't think you guys realize how tiny 11-year-olds are, too. Like, this girl literally looks like she's the tiniest thing in the world. I'm like, I can't imagine, like, being threatened by this 11-year-old. I really can't. I truthfully really cannot imagine it. Um, I really cannot. So this is just bad. Anyway, this is all just bad because it's sick, actually, to bully an 11-year-old. I feel like that's a very obvious statement. So when this all first happened, her fans were defending her because they didn't know, right? So this all unfolded before people knew who this little girl was. They did not know she was Jude Law's daughter. I'm explaining that to you out of order. But they were like, how do we really know that this all happened? Like, how do we know this all happened? How do we know that this little girl didn't have bad vibes? Real thing that I saw. Real statement. Real statement that I saw. Real statement that I saw. I mean, it sounds like you are kind of looking for attention. It does. That's what it sounds like to me. See how I just did that again? I did that to rage bait you. I did that to rage bait you. This... People were really online being like, what if the girl had bad vibes? I was like, the 11-year-old? What if the little girl had, like, dubious intent? I was like, the 11-year-old had dubious intent? Like, the baby had dubious intent? Like, what are we talking about? The child having breakfast that smiled at her had dubious intent? Like, But that's really what Chappell Roan fans were doing. They were really sitting there defending that. They were like, how do we even know this is real? What if it's all fake? Who's to even say that this guy is even a football player? Which was strange and weird and strange. I was like, people aren't really living in reality. Because I'm like, why would this football player lie? Is like my question. Like, and people were like, maybe he's trying to clout chase. He's trying to clout chase. I'm like, he has 5 million followers on Instagram. He's like extremely wealthy and rich as a football player. He's like enough to go see Chappell Roan herself, right? To go send his kid to go see Chappell Roan herself, or stay at the same hotel, or send his, wife and kid to go stay at the same hotel as Chappell Roan. I really don't think he needs clout. Like, I cannot fathom that. Like, I can't. I think people are living in an alternate reality because I'm like, what are we talking about here? Like, what's happening here? Like, they're both at the same hotel. Like, they're at the exact same hotel. They eat the same breakfast. That means they have the same money. So, like, it's not about clout. I think she was kind of just awful, probably. Fuck them kids. The memes, though, I will say, that have come out of this situation are fucking hilarious. Every meme that people have of, like, Chappell Roan punting a child is quite hilarious to me. I'm liking all of them. They're very, very funny. Very, very hilarious to me. So that was insane. And then when all of the information came out that it was actually Jude Law's daughter, then all the fan pages were like, because they didn't want to get wrapped up in all of that, because you're going to get quote tweeted on like Pop Base. Like, you're going to get quote tweeted on like Pop Base. They started making statements that were like, we denounce all like hatred towards children. We didn't know, da da da, which is just so strange to me because I'm like, again, it goes back to what I was saying before about like who deserves respect, and it like how many times has this happened that we don't know about because the kid wasn't famous, right? Like, what if this happens all the time with Chappell Roan? And like parents are getting threatened out the wazoo and they just aren't famous enough, right? Like, this guy was famous and had resources, so obviously he gets to talk about it. But I'm like, I wonder how many times she's done this, because it seems like a pattern. It feels like this is not the first time this has happened. Because I'm like, that's not a thing that you would do if it's not the first time that this has happened. Like, you must do this often. If you're so comfortable bullying an 11-year-old, you must do this all the time. You must. You must, you must, you must. So Chappell Roan has not spoken out about this since this whole situation has happened. And oh, I was gonna say earlier. So you might be saying, how do I know that this is a lie? Or how do we know that this is the truth and not a lie, right? Like, how do we know? How do we also know that Chappell Roan doesn't or does know about the situation, right? Like, why is she taking so long to respond? Maybe she just doesn't know that this is all happening online. First of all, I will just say Chappell Roan is one of the most chronically online people for her detriment that I've seen in pop culture. So I don't think that that's true. I frankly just don't believe that. I believe that she knows this is happening. Additionally, we have proof about this because People magazine tried to contact her team and they did not respond. So People magazine, because all the articles are out now about this whole situation happening because it's involving so many really famous people, right? Like extremely famous Brazilian soccer player, and his child, and it's Jude Law's child, and Chappell Roan. Like, all of these things are involved, so every publication is talking about it. So People magazine tried to reach out to Chappell Roan to clear her name. They tried to clear her name, and she didn't respond to that. She did not respond to that. And I will say, to what you were saying earlier, I know I read it and I was going to respond to it, but I wanted to wait until I was ready for it. What you were saying earlier, Churchill, about how people, if it was a man or a woman of color, personally, I don't even think it's because she's a woman. I think it's because she's a white woman. I'm going to be really honest with you. I really think it's because she's a white woman that she's able to I wouldn't even say get away with it because she's getting her back beaten in right now. But that so many people are coming to her defense about the situation, so much so that they are bullying the 11-year-old. That's the crazy part to me. That's the insanity part to me. So many people are quick to be like, actually, what if the 11-year-old had a bomb? Like, what? We don't know, guys. What if the 11-year-old had a bomb? What if the 11-year-old stared at her in a weird way? I don't understand. And people are dead ass. They're dead ass. This sounds like I'm exaggerating, but they're dead ass about it. And I just never seen that. Brain Dead, you've been here for a while. Hi. And you should go to sleep if you haven't slept in 2 days, obviously. It's bad for you. People will bully women of color, men of color, for less. People will bully for less than this situation right here. So I'm actually glad that the internet is beating her back in. I really am. Because I know a lot of people are saying that, like, so an argument for Chappell Roan, right? An argument, because mind you, they were bullying Doechii, which Doechii's statement, I'll say as a Doechii fan, like, her recent statement about cats was stupid, but, like, they were bullying her for that. So, like, they were beating her back in for 3 days and 3 nights for saying that she doesn't like cats. This is worse than that, but I didn't like her statement anyway, so I'll just be clear and say that, but, like, that's neither here nor there. But they were bullying her for just saying that she didn't like cats. So I'm like, what do you want me to do about that? I lost my thought. Wait. I lost my thought because I saw the follow. Thank you for the follow. I hope you're doing well, day night, wherever you are. What part are you confused about? What part are you confused about? Oh, so people were saying that, I found my thought again. So people were saying people will fry Doechii for anything. Exactly. Well, they hate women and they hate black women. They hate dark-skinned black women especially. So yeah. Yeah, they really will. They really will. They really will. The bomb part. That's what people are saying. They really said, it sounds like I'm being exaggeratory, but these are real things that people type. They were like, what if the 11-year-old had bad vibes? I'm like, what are we talking about? What if the 11-year-old had dubious intent when she smiled? I'm like, are you guys okay? Are people okay? Like, an 11-year-old smiling at you is enough to, like, go and harass her and make her cry? Like, huh? Like, I don't, like, what? You guys like bullying an 11-year-old? What if the 11-year-old was ugly? Real thing I saw. Real thing I saw. What if the 11-year-old was ugly and deserved it? I'm like, what? Huh? I took that smile personally. When the child smiled at me, I took that shit personally. It reminds me of that meme, and I know somebody on Twitter has already done that, but like, you know the clip where the guy is sitting in the chair, and it's like the guy sitting in the chair is arguing with the baby. What's going on, little man? Hey, yo, get your boy. Get your boy. Look at his face. Dumb little face. He's just a baby. He's just a baby. Stop. Stop. Hey, yo, get your boy. Get your... That is actually Chappell Roan fighting with this 11-year-old. Like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, but it's an 11-year-old that's smiling at you, so not like that. It's an 11-year-old. It's not an exaggerated emote off of Twitch. It's a child, a real child. So, people's arguments for Chappell Roan. Let's lock into that. People's arguments for Chappell Roan. So, Chappell Roan stands are insane, mind you, because they're bullying a child. So, I just want to preface everything I'm going to say by I am existing inside of their head. But I don't agree with anything that they're saying because I think they're quite stupid. Because you're fighting on behalf of a grown adult and a child. Why is she beefing with the baby? Well, you missed the part of the stream where I explained it, sweetheart. You missed it. You missed it. I can't explain it again. We'll be here for another 30 minutes. I already explained it. I explained it, but you can go on Pop Base right now and like get the Pop Base rundown. Get the Pop Base rundown. You just don't get the puppkats rundown, you know? Because now we're in the, yeah, we're in it. We're in the second half. We're in the second half of this. So, Stan's arguments for Chappell Roan. First argument that they have. You should not be harassing. Walking by somebody's table is harassment of the artist. And Chappell Roan has stated previously that she doesn't like it when people like come up to her. She feels overwhelmed by the fame. That's their argument. I'm going to say, in the kindest way that I can, I hear you, and I think you're very dumb. I hear you, and your love for this woman that you don't know and will never know personally, is blinding you from the truth. Because if Chappell Roan was a true introvert, she would have been eating her fucking breakfast in her bedroom. At that hotel, I promise you there's room service. At that hotel, a hotel that can only be eaten at by Chappell Roan and like millionaire Brazilian football players' wives and daughters, they have room service. And I'm sure the room service was delicious. It would have been the same fucking breakfast. If she's that opposed to being with other people, being in space with other people, she would have just had room service. So that sentence doesn't make any sense to me. And people can say, well, what if she wanted her privacy? You cannot ask for privacy when you are in a public space. You cannot, listen to me here, Chappell Roan stands. You cannot be asking for privacy when you are in a public space. You have to expect that there are other people there that are going to look at you with their eyes. They're going to look at you. They have eyeballs and they can, in fact, perceive you. They're going to look at you with their eyes. You are Chappell Roan. You are Chappell Roan. If Ryan Reynolds walked down the street, do you think Ryan Reynolds would be like, why is everybody looking at me? I'm in a public space. Why is everybody looking at me? If Ryan Reynolds went to Walmart, do you think he'd be like, oh my God, everybody's bothering me. I just came here to shop. I came here to shop. I wanted that delicious fried chicken from the deli. Like, why is everybody bothering me? I'm sure he'd be like, no, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Like, it's weird that I'm at a Walmart. People are going to look at me. when you become a celebrity, certain things are no longer afforded to you. That's the price of fame. That is the price of success. People can say that that's unfair, but what is the solution exactly? That's the price you pay. Everything comes with a sacrifice. Everything comes with a sacrifice. Not even just fame. Everything. Obscurity comes with a sacrifice, right? Like if you want to live a very private life, that also comes with a sacrifice as well. You may not be as famous as your counterparts because of it. Everything comes with cons and pros. You can't be Chappell Roan and be like, I don't want anybody to talk to me, and then go have dinner in the breakfast section. No, I'm sorry, not dinner. Breakfast in a public space. You have to eat breakfast upstairs in your bedroom. You have to go do that. Eat breakfast upstairs if you really don't want anybody to talk to you. It's a public space. Mind you, another thing about this is a second argument. This is a second argument that Chappell Roan fans have. What if this little girl was fucking nuts? Real thing. People are arguing. What if this little girl was fucking crazy? What if this 11-year-old was fucking crazy and she wasn't actually just smiling at her? What if she came up to her table and was asking things from her? Okay. I'm hearing you, and I'm gonna hold your hand when I say the second part too. You're crazy for saying that. You know why I think Chappell Roan fans are crazy for saying that? Because this little girl is famous. This family is famous. This family is famous. She's Jude Law's daughter. And now her stepfather is a famous Brazilian football player. So you want me to seriously expect that this little girl, who has been chased her entire life, since pregnancy, mind you, since she was in the womb, and since she was inside of her mother's womb, the paparazzi have been wanting to take pictures of her, wanting to be a part of her life. This little girl has never had any PR training. This little girl has never known fame, never known what it's like to be bothered at breakfast, never known what that feeling has been like. She's 11, and I'm sure she's experienced the horrors of fame herself already. So you want me to expect that this girl came up to the table and was acting crazy? I won't. I won't. I won't do it. It doesn't make any sense. You're not making any sense. Also, you're crazy because you're bullying an 11-year-old. That statement, that second one, you're crazy because you're making it the 11-year-old's fault that this whole situation happened. Right. Third argument. Third argument people have. What if the bodyguard just kind of did it themselves? I have a stream on my YouTube. It's a one-off. It's in a playlist called like Puppkats One-Offs, where I play Mortuary's assistant, so you can go watch that VOD. It's on my YouTube channel. You can just go watch that VOD. That statement's also crazy. All of these statements are crazy. That statement's also crazy because a bodyguard's not going to do anything unless they are told to do something. A bodyguard is simply just not going to do something unless they're told to go do something. And there's recorded video already of Chappell Roan telling the bodyguards to go do stuff before. So it's not like this isn't outlandish for her. So we've broken down the main arguments that people have for Chappell Roan, and all of them make you look crazy. All of them make you look crazy. They do. They do. They do. They do. I think if Chappell Roan, I think my consensus on the story, which, when is the next ad break? Because I have to go pee. But like, it's distracting me. It's making my thoughts disappear. No, not that. Oh, 31 minutes. Ooh, I might have to go pee before then. I thought it said 3 minutes, 31 minutes. Yeah, I have to go pee before that. I think Chappell Roan needs to decide whether or not she wants to be famous. I think she just really needs to decide whether or not she wants to be famous. It sounds like she wants to be rich. She doesn't want to be famous, which is fine. But if you're famous and you don't want to be in the public eye, you cannot be engaging with people this way. That means you're going to have to take your breakfast, your lunch, and dinner in your room. That's what that means. That's what that means. Yeah. Chappell is white before she's queer. Yes. I did see a lot of people that were like, oh, everybody's hating on her because she's queer. No. Nope. Nope. That's not it. No. I don't know. I think being rich and not famous is kind of preposterous because within a lot of wealth, you are well known. I think a lot of artists do a good job of doing it. Beyonce, for example. Beyonce really only lets us see her when she wants to be seen. It's like, pull a Beyonce. Stop talking. Like, pull a Beyonce. Stop fucking talking. Only talk when you have music to release. Right? You can't go on 60 different interviews, be in public all the time, eat breakfast with all the other rich people, and then get mad that everybody's talking about you and looking at you and engaging with you, right? Like, you gotta pick one. There's some artists that, like, live a quiet life, for example. I'm not saying never speak out ever again, but you live a quiet life. Live a quiet life then. And Chappell Roan seems very confused as to whether or not she wants to live a quiet life. And I think that's my biggest, like, critique of her, ultimately, is that it seems like she doesn't know what to do with her fame. And she should figure that out very quickly. Because I don't think her reputation can take another hit like this. Mostly because, and this is going to sound mean, but it's true. This is going to sound mean, but it's actually true. She doesn't have enough music to justify what's going on here. She doesn't have the discography to allow this behavior. So she needs to figure it out actually very quickly. And you might be like, Puppkats, I thought you said the music was good. I actually like her music. I like her music. I'm not saying her music is bad. I'm saying in the cultural zeitgeist, she does not have the discography to last, to explain away this behavior. A la artists like Kanye West, which, mind you, awful person. I'm not saying that Kanye West is a good person. I'm not saying that he is in any capacity. Examples: Kanye West, Taylor Swift, BTS, if you want to go there, which I'm gonna be BTS's back in like 30 minutes after I go pee. But like I'm gonna get to them soon enough. But But like BTS, even if we're gonna go there, which I don't even believe in the BTS thing, but there's an argument to be made there. There's an argument to be made. I'll listen to it, but I don't agree with that. But like bigger artists that have the discography, that are kind of like timeless, right? Where people would be like, I can separate the artist. Even though I don't necessarily believe in that rhetoric. But like, you cannot make that argument for Chappell Roan. You really just can't. Because for a lot of people, Chappell Roan's got like 2 songs for a lot of people. And again, this is gonna sound mean. I like Chappell Roan's music. I need everybody to understand that. But for a lot of people, Chappell Roan has got 2 songs. They will drop her like nobody else. They will drop her like nobody else. They will drop her like nobody else. She doesn't have the discography to explain away this behavior, where people would be like, well, for example, I'm bringing up Kanye West because this feels like so Kanye West, but it's like, he made graduation. Like, no matter what happens, people will be like, but he made graduation. But he did this though. And it's like, okay, I hear you. Still a bad person. Still a bad person. Still not good. Still not good. But no one's going to make that argument for Chappell Roan. No one's going to make that argument for Chappell Roan. No one really is. Because again, for the majority of people, she only has 2 good songs. Even a Taylor Swift. Or I think Taylor Swift has a lot of critiques to be had. A lot of critiques to be had. But people be like, well, you know, well, I like her old stuff, you know, da da da. I like this song, I like that song. I don't know why I'm blanking on Taylor Swift songs. I'm trying to think of a Taylor Swift song and I really can't. For some reason I can't. You Belong With Me. You know, one of those. It's like, well, she did this. I like Lover, da da da. It's like, Chappell Roan doesn't have an iconic album that's gonna save her. And I also don't think she even has a fan base that's strong enough to save her either, right? Like, I think about artists like Nicki Minaj, where it's like, Nicki Minaj hasn't put out a good song in forever. So, Nicki Minaj hasn't put out good music. For a lot of artists, like, their music would carry, i.e. Taylor Swift, right? Like, even when they're in controversy, all they need to do is put out a good album and they'll be fine. They'll be okay. Because then everybody will focus on the music. Nicki Minaj has such a strong fan base that it actually doesn't really matter if she's putting out good music or not. The fan base is going to fan base. Fan base is going to fan base. Is she ever going to be as popular as she was before? No, but that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about just, like, keeping her in the public zeitgeist. And also, Nicki has, like, a history that Chappell Roan simply just does not. Chappell Roan got famous pretty quickly in the last, like, 2 years. That's an Ice Spice right there. That's I know no one wants to say it, but that's an Ice Spice right there. She needs to lock in before she starts experiencing an Ice Spice situation. She needs to lock in. Lock in very quickly. I know no one wants to see the similarities, but I see them so clearly. I see them so clearly in front of me. Kanye West surrounds himself with enablers too much, and his fan base justifies it. I think Kanye West's situation was initially very nuanced, and it became a non-nuanced situation the minute he started aligning himself with anti-Semitic and racist rhetoric. It was initially nuanced because he was going through a mental health crisis, but, like, that's an explanation, not a reason. You know, not an excuse, we should really say. It's just an explanation for behavior. It's not an excuse for why he was doing what he was doing. So initially I felt very nuanced about Kanye West because I was like, I do not agree with anything that he's saying or in the way in which he's acting or in which he's engaging, but I feel bad for him and I hope he gets mental health help. But then he kept going. And I was like, it's like, you're just being anti-Semitic and racist. Nothing can really be done about that. Nothing can really be done about that. I don't think he's doing it for attention. I think Kanye West is a very mentally unwell person that is surrounded by enablers. He's a mentally unwell person. He's also somebody that, like, I think got swept up in a lot of nonsense. And that's, again, not an excuse. I'm just following the reasoning. I'm following like what he would think is like his explanation. I think he just got swept up in all of that nonsense. He got swept up in that all right rhetoric. Cause, like, I know he apologized and everything. I don't give a fuck, but, like, I know he gave his, like, long ass apology. I did read it and I was like, anyway, so he's like, guys, I'm sorry I did all that crazy shit. I'm sorry. Sorry I was crazy for a little bit. Sorry. And I know some people, just as a clarification, I know some people may have issue with the fact that I'm saying crazy in the context of mental health. I need everybody to understand I am mentally ill. Just for clarification, I'm mentally ill. I have my own laundry list of mental health concerns. I am a disabled person. I am somebody that has depression, anxiety, etc., severe depression, severe anxiety. I'm not new to this shit. I'm not new to this shit. I'm not disparaging people that are mentally unwell. I am one, so I am one, and I don't use the word crazy lightly. He was doing crazy shit. Like he was doing crazy shit. He was engaging in a way that was fucking nuts and crazy. Just for clarification, just as an aside, because I know some people have policing about the word crazy in the context of mental health. And as somebody, I also write for mental health and medical journals, by the way. So, like, I'm woke, but I'm woke. I'm here. Um, but, like, and I used to be one of those people actually, too, which is so funny. That I would say that, but like I used to be one of those people too. I was like, actually, I'm not going to use the word crazy anymore because I understand like its harm in the context and how many people have been like hurt by that word. But I had a conversation with a supervisor once, where he was like, well, if some people feel crazy, like why wouldn't we just use that word? Like, why are you policing the way things are done? And I was like, actually, I really like that. It's like, yeah, because sometimes you feel fucking crazy. Like, sometimes you feel fucking crazy. I think it's fine if people have like their personal hatred of the word, but I think it's not one of those words, to the extent of like the R slur, that needs to be like completely removed. As an aside. As an aside. Why do I hate kids? I didn't say that I hate kids. That's a weird thing that you typed in just now. Yeah, no. I didn't say that I hate kids. That's a weird thing that you just said. Strange thing you just said. But that's the Chappell Roan situation. It's still unfolding. No, it's actually not in the title. You actually just can't read, right? Like, you actually can't read because it says Chappell Roan hates kids, right? It says Chappell Roan hates kids, not me, right? So, like, you can't read, but that's not my responsibility, right? Right. So you missed words. If you don't know who Chappell Roan is, again, that's like you, right? Who's that? Is an artist, and we just finished talking about it, so you missed the discussion. You're good. You're good. You're good. I accept your apology. Chappell Roan's an artist, a musical artist, but we just finished talking about that situation. It's okay, I accept your apology. Can you explain? I just finished talking about it. But just a quick summary, like Chappell Roan is an artist that bullied a child in the last, like, it got exposed in the last, like, few hours. So we just talked about the whole situation. I mean, you can also Google it too, right? Like, I'm not the only person of information. Spent like 45 minutes talking about it. Gave you the sentence summary. Provided the sentence summary. And then you can like Google it, right? But yeah, I have no idea what's gonna happen with that moving forward. I mean, her fans are going to be all over. Her fans are gonna be all over running defense for her. Um, Her fans are gonna be running defense for her because I did see. I mean, there's this viral post going around right now where like one of her fan pages was like, Chappell Roan met fans all weekend, and each one of them said that she was lovely and fantastic, and y'all are so quick to jump without knowing the full story. And I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with, like, what is happening in this story? You do know that, like, somebody can be nice and then also an asshole, like, later. Like, two things are true. She could have been nice to that one fan, and then also a complete dick to this child. Like, that's fine. Like, what does that have to do with anything? She bullied a child with her security guard. So that's what happened, Fisher. If you want to know more, you can just Google it. You know, I'm sure there's, like, People Magazine has probably already written an article about it. A bunch of news articles are coming out, like, as we speak. Thank you for the I'm Just a Little Guy, by the way. I think she gets unnecessary. I said that before the story had started, before we started talking about it. I was like, I think she gets unnecessary shit. But I also think the way in which she handles it is bad. Like, she's not a very good celebrity. If I'm going to be completely honest, she's not very good at being a celebrity. As I stated before, it seems as though she's very... Oh, and then I didn't even finish the best part. Oh my god. I didn't get to the best part. So then the mayor... just because she's famous doesn't mean she's in a person. So that justifies her bullying a child, or... Didn't you not know who Chappell Roan was, like... didn't you like not know who Chappell Roan was like 5 minutes ago? So then the mayor, right? I didn't get to the best part. I was like so off on these other tangents of like Chappell Roan's fans. So then the mayor of Rio, the mayor of Rio is on Twitter. So the mayor of Rio then got on Twitter and stated, he wrote, I mean that as long as I am in charge of this city, this young lady at Chappell Roan will never perform at Todo Mundo no Rio. I doubt that at Shakira would do that. He was quote tweeting the situation. By the way, adding the Brazilian football player, your little one is already the guest of honor from the organization in May. So she'll never perform at that show ever. Okay, so she rejected a fan. So what? Like, kids can be assholes. Okay, so do you guys see exactly what I said was happening literally in front? Like, literally happening. Do you see what I just talked about? Like, literally. Like, what I just talked about? Not all kids are nice. What I just talked about. I just talked about this. What if the kid had bad vibes? What if the kid had bad vibes? I just talked about it on YouTube. I'm multi-streaming. I always multi-stream so that you guys have VODs. Because Twitch VODs disappear. Hi, Lewis. That's not what happened. She just bullied an 11-year-old girl that smiled at her. So, I mean, if you think that it's okay to bully an 11-year-old child because they smile at you, that's a different conversation, right? Like, that's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. I think it's a bad opinion. I think it's a stupid opinion, but but you are allowed to think that, right? Like, if you think it's okay to, like, you know, make a little girl cry because they smiled at you, I think that's fine. You can think that, yeah. You can totally think that. I think you're personally a bad person for having that opinion, but, like, you know, you are allowed to think it and have it. No idea who Chappell Roan is. I mean, Lewis, we've been through this before. Lewis, we've been through this before. You're not up to date on things that are happening. And then she performed in Brazil, and then she was like... And then she performed in Brazil and just thanked her security, which was so strange. Because it seemed like she didn't really have to do all that. So... I've died, but I'm back. Hi. I did see a headline on Google, thought it was someone else, though. Nope, Chappell Roan. Which I thought was so crazy because it's like, if that were me, right? If that were me, right? Let's say I'm in Chappell Roan's shoes. Well, first thing first, I wouldn't have done what I did. But first things first, I wouldn't have done what I did. Second thing second, I personally would have been on this from the jump. I would have been on it the minute he tagged me. I would have been on it the minute I would have squashed that. The fact that they let this go on for hours is quite bad, because I wouldn't have even let these articles come out. I additionally would have responded to People Magazine. I also would have responded to People Magazine. That's just me. I would have made a statement. I think the PR team is kind of lacking. I don't know who's on her PR team. They got to sort that out. Whoever's on her PR team has got to sort it out. Because what do you mean it's been 6 hours, 8 hours since the situation has been happening? And you haven't made a statement. That's crazy. You need to make a statement like today. What do you mean the mayor said that you're never going to perform in Brazil? Like, ever again? Not Brazil. That's not what he said. He said specifically like the biggest event in Brazil, which is crazy because I'm like, that's money out of y'all's pocket. You guys are losing money off of this situation. Brazil is a very like nice place to perform at as an artist. Like, it's a very big money maker. You're losing money by not being able to perform at these events. So it just seems like they should really do something about that. They should really do something about that. They should really do something about that. Yeah, they should really do something about that. The child punting memes have been funny. Hilarious. Hilarious to me. Hilarious to me. People are so funny when things happen. People are so funny when things happen. So hilarious. I'm like, oh, that's why I love being here. I love being online. You'll never get me to turn off Twitter. Like, I can never let go of that platform. Even if it's dog shit now, even if it's not as good as it used to be, you'll never get me to get off that platform. People are too fucking funny. People are too fucking funny. I'm black and half Brazilian, so what did I miss? Oh, we're talking about Chappell Roan, the Chappell Roan situation. That's what we're talking about. Do you know about the Chappell Roan situation? I know Brazilians were on Twitter. They were eating her up. They were eating her up. Like, all of the tweets that I was looking at were like, all of the tweets that I were looking at were like, translate. Translate to English. 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 I was like, wow, they are eating her up. Beating her up. Yes, I know about it. My grandma's complaining about her. As she should. As she should. I'm sorry. Like, I really, and when I say I'm sorry, I don't mean it. I'm saying that sarcastically. I have to say this, otherwise people are going to think that I'm really sorry because people can't hear my intent. People can't hear my tone, apparently. But, like, I think you're weird if you side with Chappell Roan in this situation. I actually do. I think you're weird if you side with her. The contestants in this argument, mind you, are an 11-year-old girl. Like, the antagonist in this story is a child that's 11 who likes her. The person who everybody's like the devil, which, mind you, obviously this girl is like famous, so because her father is famous and like her stepfather is famous. But I'm like, you can see her picture online. She's like, obviously I think every child is so sweet, but I'm like, she looks so sweet. Like, she looks so sweet. I'm like, people are like, that's the devil. I'm like, what are we talking about? I could see her devilish intent already. I'm like, I think you're weird. I think you're weird. because you're evil. You might be evil, Fisher. You might be, actually. Because there's like no reason for you to do that. So you might actually be evil. Agree. I don't know how people think the kid was in the wrong. Listen, and you know, I think people have been mean to Chappell Roan in the past, for things that are out of her control. And also, I just, again, as I was saying this earlier, but I didn't finish my statement. Like, I think that she is bad at being a celebrity. And when I say this, I mean, for example, I know the Kamala Harris thing was brought up before, right? Where I think she had stated, I don't remember exactly how the situation. No one told you to do that, Fisher. Did I say that in any of my statements? No one said you had to give up your drink. I said you're probably evil because you poured that drink on her. You didn't have to do that, right? Like, you did that because you're devious, right? Like, you could have just walked away. Could have just been like, no, and then walked away. But, like, you poured something on somebody because you're devious. I'm not going to say that's okay. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. That's how it is. Like the Kamala Harris situation, like, I think the way, and we don't have to unpack all of that because it's been forever, but I think the way in which Chappell Roan went about the entirety of that situation was just bad PR. Like, I think she needs to get a new PR firm. It's all that I've taken from Chappell Roan is that she really has to figure out her new PR team. Because it can't be the one that she has right now. If she has one, she needs to fire them all. Because they're bad. They're bad at their jobs. I personally just did not like that interview that she did. Where she was like, as a celebrity, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember her exact words. But she was like, why are people looking to me to have answers for this, that, and the third? Why are people looking to celebrities to answer things? Which I'm going to say is a nuanced conversation, because I do think that sometimes people online and in real life, right, like, wait for other people to give their opinions about things in order for them to have their own opinion. And also, I think it's perfectly fair for people to ask what your opinion is on certain things because they don't want to support a piece of shit. Like, I don't want to find out that, like, somebody that I was supporting is actually, like, a piece of shit and they were hiding that from me. So they're going to ask you questions about your politics. No fucking shit. No fucking shit. No one's asking you to have the perfect answer. They're having you to just have a decent answer. That's all they're asking. That's all they're asking. I don't want to support somebody that's a piece of shit. So yeah, you're gonna get that. You are a celebrity. Again, it comes back to, like, Chappell Roan not understanding. What are my politics? If I was president, Femboy Friday would be every day. Femboy Friday would be every day. We're bringing back cowboy boots. I do think we should bring those back. We're bringing back cowboy boots. I think water should be free. I think electricity should be free. I think that food is a human right. I think shelter is a human right. I think we're gonna tax the fuck out of these billionaires. That's mine. Those are my policies. I'm gonna tax the fuck out of these billionaires. I think we're gonna bring back the original Coke with cocaine. For a select time only. We'll bring it back for, like, a month. Just to see what happens. Just to see what happens. I want to taste it. Does it really taste that good? Hi, Kai. Men get beat up when they try to hug their favorite rapper. Who's trying to hug their favorite rapper? What are we talking about? Oh, that's who you like? Nah, damn, Fisher. That sucks. That sucks. That sucks. I'm gonna have to get you out of here. You know, I'm gonna have to get you out of here. I'm gonna have to get you out of here. I don't want you here. Yeah. I did that hot ban on you. Yeah. If your politic is against my politic, I actually don't want you here. Like, that's I know some content creators are like, I'll take anybody. You know, we can have we can have like disagreements. I think we can have disagreements on what you think your favorite fruit is. We can have disagreements on whether or not you think an Italian sandwich needs provolone in it, right? We can have that. But that could be a conversation we can have. Yeah, for sure. Right? Like, if you're like, oh my god, I think Beyonce is the best artist of all time, I'll be like, hey, I disagree. But we can still be friends. I'll still hear you out, brother. Brother, I'll still hear you out. Let's hear that argument. Let's hear that argument. But, you know, if you're being crazy, yeah, I'm not trying to hear all that. Is that what you meant? Hmm? If I was president, I would bring back, I would make, actually, I wouldn't bring back anything. What would I bring back? What's something that I miss from back in the day that I would bring back? Well, I'd make the dollar menu a real dollar menu. I'd enforce that. We gotta make the dollar menu a real dollar menu again. That's what I would do. But we've had the McRib. It comes back. What's something that's gone that we really need to come back? What's a discontinued item? I'm sure there's something that I missed that like. That's something that I miss. The old lunch menu? What is that? Ooh, you know what? The push-ups, the original push-ups, the sherbet treats. Let's bring those back. Let's bring those back. What else is there? Let's bring back the Scooby-Doo opaque blue fruit snacks. Let's bring those back too. The ones with the blue Scooby. Let's bring those back. The original high C fruit punch, because I feel like it tastes different now. I don't know what they did to it, but I feel like it tastes different, so let's bring that back too. It's my conspiracy theory. I think they changed it. I don't think it tastes the same as it used to. And that's it. We'll work out the rest later, but that's on my president agenda. That's on my president agenda. No, we don't need to bring back the gay frogs. Along with like my agenda for free water, shelter, and or food. I think we should bring back the Scooby snacks. That's what's really important to me. The gay frogs, I don't know. Gay frogs, I don't know. I'm also banning Manosphere content. Banning it. That's my agenda. I'm banning Manosphere content. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm banning all of it. I'll just get rid of all of it. We're just gonna nuke it all. I don't want to hear about it ever again. Do something else. Do something else. Yeah, talk about something else. Clavicular ban. He should be banned anyway. Didn't he try to kill somebody with his car? He should be banned anyway. He's like breaking his bones and he's breaking his own bones and doing meth. I was actually talking about this with my best friend because I was explaining I'm the most like terminally online person in my friend group. So I was talking with them and I was explaining clavicular. And she was like, "What does he do?" I was like, "So he takes meth. He microdoses meth for thinner cheeks, like hollow cheeks. And then so people on the internet take his word even though he's doing meth." So, and you might be like, "Puppkats, that's crazy. You're discriminating against people that do meth." Yes, I am. I actually do believe if you're consistently taking meth, something's wrong. And your opinion maybe needs to be evaluated on what you think is good and not, and bad. I actually believe that, yeah. And you can say that that's a harsh opinion. That's fine. That's fine. Fisher, listen, I didn't like anything that you just said. I didn't like it. I really didn't. I simply just didn't like it. You know? Not liking it. I wonder if I open up the second one, if I'm gonna be good. If I restart this, is that okay? Or is that gonna like re-end the stream? Did I mess that up? Did I mess that up or be good? I think we're good. Thank you for the cutie sticker. But yeah, just as a reminder, like I personally don't want people in my community or in vicinity with me that think bad things. So I don't want you in my community if you think bad things. Like if you're not in a non-agreement with me about things that I take very seriously. So I don't really want you in my community. You know, it's fuck ICE here. It's pro-Palestine. It's pro-Gaza. It is. It's anti-Donald Trump. So if you're like one of those people, if you're part of the MAGA community, it's pro-trans, it's LGBTQIA, it's pro-Yuri, it's pro-Yowie, it's pro-pegging, it's pro-Scooby Snacks, it's pro-critical thinking, it's pro-reading, it's pro all of these things. So if you're not one of those people, if you don't like if you don't like any of that stuff, I kind of don't want you here. Ah! And I think you're freaky. Ah! I think you're freaky, 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 and I don't want you here. And when I say that, I mean parentheses weird, parentheses strange, parentheses leave. Don't want you here. Don't want you here. Don't. I find it crazy that Corpse Grinder himself is more friendly towards kids than who? Who? Who is that? Corpse Grinder? Who is that? Who? Who? Also, thank you for the follow. Now, who is that? Oh, I'm missing music. Oh, I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar. Pro what? You heard me. I'm pro all of those things. I'm pro beating up people with Twizzlers. I'm pro dark chocolate. I'm pro black people. I'm pro immigrants. Pro all of these things. Well, you missed it, Kai. You missed the segment where we talked about it. We're kind of wrapping up that segment. That segment's kind of already done. I was just like finishing up. You missed the segment. But all you need to know is that Chappell Roan hates children. So that's all you need to know. She hates children. Loves punting them into the sun. Yeah. She like loves punting them into the sun. What's my opinion on the frogs? I hate frogs. I hate them. But I believe in their right to exist despite me hating them. That's how I feel about frogs. Because they're important to the natural ecosystem of a lot of areas. Just because I hate something doesn't mean it shouldn't exist. I think they're gross, they're icky, they make me go yuck. But they should exist. They're very integral to a lot of communities. Therefore, I will always support the frog population. That's how I feel about it. And I'm not joking, by the way. I really do feel that way about frogs. I really do feel that way about frogs. I really do. I think they're gross. How do I feel about Yu-Gi-Oh? The guy or the show? Like Yu-Gi or like Yu-Gi or like just the show in general. I watched it a lot way back when. Or I mean like the card game. Okay. I have a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, not because I like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, but because I was just obsessed with Yu-Gi. I was obsessed with Yu-Gi. I don't give a fuck about the card game. Don't give a fuck about it. And will never play it in my life. I do have a lot of the cards though, because I think they're cool. They're cool to look at. No, I'm never gonna play it. And no one asked, but my feelings about Yugi is cool. Cool. Swagged out. That's how I feel about that. Swagged out. Anyway, so that was Chappell Roan. I think she's weird. I think she's weird, and I think if you agree with her, I think you're also weird. Usually this would be the point that I say, and that's okay, but it's not actually okay that you would agree with Chappell Roan. I think you're weird. I mean that deeply. I mean that deeply. I mean it. Favorite season of Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh, I don't have one. Oh, I don't have one. I haven't watched it in a really long time. I do not have one. I do not have one. That's like asking me like what my favorite season of Pokemon is. It's like, oh, I don't know. Don't know. I know I watched a lot of Pokemon. Cannot tell you what my favorite season is. I've just watched a lot of it. I've just experienced a lot of it. Which I'm not even that big of a Pokemon fan. I do want Pokopia though. Pokopia. Raining in Topeka. It's raining in Topeka. Topeka. My toe. I do want that game though. Let's go pee. Let me see, what's the ad break come in? I was supposed to go pee earlier and I didn't. Next ad is in 47 minutes. Oh, did the ad run? Yeah, the ad already ran. Okay, I'm gonna go pee real quick because I've been holding it in this whole time and I missed the ad break, but I will be right back. And then I'm gonna beat... Whose back am I gonna beat in next? I'm gonna beat in... Gotta think about it before that. Well, since I talked about Chappell Roan, let's circle back to our conversation from yesterday and let's talk about what's the best fruit and or vegetable and or item to throw at somebody that you dislike. Let's start with that. And then later, maybe I'll beat in BTS's back, or maybe I'll save it for next week if maybe I'll save it for like a couple of weeks because I'm going to be gone next week, so we'll see. We'll see. I want to save the BTS discussion because it means a lot to me because I used to be I used to be a K-pop fan. So I'm really about to beat their backs in for real when I talk about that. I was a huge BTS fan. I've been to 2 BTS concerts, mind you. 2 of them. Thank you so much for the follow, by the way. 2 of them that were way too expensive. I spent way too much of my real money to go see men dance, gyrate, and whatnot. So I'll have to go. I might have to pause that because it might take like a few hours, and I don't think we have time for all of that tonight. Because I have to explain like every asset of BTS to really explain why this shit is really pissing me off. So maybe I'll have to wait, put a pin in that one. But yes, let me go pee because I'm gonna die. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hello. Let's talk about what the best fruit it is to throw at somebody. That's what we should really talk about. I wanted to make sure there's water in my jug actually before sat back down, but there is let's talk about that because that was yesterday's discussion, and I know it took me like, how long has the stream been? 3 hours? 3 hours to get to it, but we're gonna wrap up talking about this. This is how I make things happen. Full circle. That's how we're gonna do it. This is gonna be our closing. I never said when we were gonna talk about it. I just said we were gonna talk about it. So yesterday I brought up how I think that tomatoes are pretty good. I think tomatoes are like A tier fruit to throw at somebody. Why? Because they get significantly ripe. When they're significantly ripe, they leave such a lasting impact, and they also hurt. They also hurt, which is important for this discussion. You want the item that you're throwing at somebody to hurt and also have a lasting impact, i.e., now they have to clean up. Sorry, I'm like reading something on the side. They'll have to clean up after themselves after. So I think tomatoes are pretty A tier. S tier, actually, not A tier. They're pretty S tier. Microwaved honey bun. But like, what would be so bad with getting like a honey, because it's sticky? Like a honey bun thrown at you? Because to me, this isn't bad because it's like kind of delicious. It's like kind of delicious. But you also have to imagine you're throwing it as well. Do you feel like you could really get... Do you feel like you could really get like good aim with a microwaved honey bun? Good aim, good throw. Like, wouldn't it cool by the time it really lands on somebody? I mean, how hot? How long does it stay super hot? Is like my question. Because you're throwing it, right? This is about your experience too. This is not just about what you're throwing at somebody. It's about how it feels to throw. Like, that's why I'm like, the tomato is good too, because it feels good to throw. It's gonna feel good to throw. I know yesterday memes said a cat. Mind you, you should not be throwing animals. That's animal abuse. So I'm going to disqualify any animal-related answers. That's animal abuse. So let's just... You shouldn't be throwing your animal anywhere. Should be throwing your animal anywhere. Unless it's into somebody's loving arms. What I gotta Google. What did... I typed in, what did they used to throw at people when booing? When they booed, like, what did they throw? An orange might work. I mean, I think an orange is okay. I'm gonna rank that like C tier. I think an orange is like okay. The only reason I say that is like peeled or unpeeled. Right, like peeled or unpeeled. Like peeled obviously hurts less. But if it's like kind of rotten, I feel like that's better to throw at somebody. Kind of aged a little bit. But just like a regular orange. I mean, you might as well just throw a stone at them, you know? Just... Like, what is the appeal of the orange? You might as well just throw the stone. The fruit has no weight here. You're just throwing a heavy-ass item at somebody. Will burn. Oranges don't... An unpeeled... Like, the skin is gonna burn you? If the orange gets in their eye. Like, a peeled orange? But then, like, why not throw lemons? You know? Probably because they're tiny. And the eye is like a hard area to like target specifically. You're not gonna get, I mean, who's really hurting the eye? You're not gonna aim for the eye right the first time. That means you must have like 6 oranges in your back pocket. I also don't like the orange because then that means like I have to peel it. Like I'm preparing this for you. This is like more work on my part. Oh my god, they used to throw pennies? They'll throw some pennies at you. So some coins at you. That hurt. That would hurt. Let me see. I want to just read what they used to throw at people in our pursuit to find other things. Not this. Because tomatoes were cheap back then, so that's why they threw them. And they would also throw cabbages. I like the idea of like a cabbage and a lettuce. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I really, really like the cabbage and lettuce idea. And throwing it at somebody. You know why? Because it's messy. It's really messy. It's a real act. Because could you imagine like a whole head of lettuce coming at you? It's gonna get everywhere. Pieces are gonna fall off, and when it hits you, it will explode. That's what I really like. I like the acts of the item, you know? I like the act of the item. It's a creative. I think we're missing that. I think we're missing that. Because, like, it's easy to throw, like, stone. That's why I said yesterday. I was like, it's easy to throw stones at somebody. It's easy to throw, like, bottles or something like that. Like, the lettuce is creative. The lettuce, the tomato, it's creative because, like, now we have, like, an ant problem. It's not even that, like, you threw this at me. It's like, now I gotta clean this shit. Because, like, there will be roaches if I don't figure this out. You created 2 problems for me, actually. I think throwing some sort of juice at somebody falls in line with that, like splashing them with something. But you'd have to be very close to get that to happen. That's the only problem with the liquid in the scenario. Because you need home advantage. You gotta get a little closer. You need the high ground, probably. You'd want some high ground. You want to get in their hair, too. You want the high ground, and you want to get closer. A glitter bomb. What does that look like? What does the glitter bomb look like, exactly? Like a container full of glitter? Like, that's why I'm like confused. I'm like, a container full of glitter? What's the mechanism of this bomb being thrown? Does it require the person to open it? I'm talking about just throwing it at somebody. And you also, like in this scenario, you're throwing it at them. Let's say it's like back in yonder days. We're throwing it at somebody, so you also have to take responsibility. It might get on you too. It just might. So you gotta be careful. People would throw rotten eggs. That's a good one too. The only thing about the rotten eggs is what if it breaks on you? It's not as sturdy as the tomato. Like, it could crack in your hand, and then you're covered in rotten egg. Oh, they would throw turnips. Never heard of turnips before. Interesting. Interesting. I think I'd have to see the glitter bomb like in its in action. You have to see it in action. Because for one, we're also not trying to kill people, right? Like that's like we're not trying to kill people. Like I'm talking about just like what is the best thing to throw at somebody, not to kill them, but just to inconvenience a person, to let them really know you didn't like what they said. And if glitter gets in someone's eye, you will destroy someone's eye and you'll ruin their lives. So like you'll like ruin their lives. Because like the obvious answer here that I'm sure a lot of people are thinking is like, I would throw an anvil. Like it's like, well, no shit. Like I'd throw an anvil. I'd get the gun. It's like, well, I'm thinking like Looney Tunes, like just something that's like just annoying enough. I'm like, glitter, if it gets inside your eye, which if you didn't know this, by the way, you should only, if you wear makeup, I'm pretty sure the makeup that's made, it is, well, you should always double check because sometimes some companies are lying and they're putting like non-face safe makeup in your glitter, but the makeup you wear on your eyes that has glitter, that's safe for your face, but traditional glitter is not safe for your face, and if you get inside of your eye, it will destroy your eyeball and you will be unable to see, and for the rest of your life it will just cut through your eyeball. Sorry to talk about eyeballs because I hate talking about eyeballs, but PSA. PSA, like be very, very careful anytime you're handling like glitter, like crafts glitter. Be very, very careful with it. Because if you get that inside of you, it will cut your body like nobody other, like nothing else. It will hack and slash at your body like nothing else. You also shouldn't ingest it either. It will destroy the insides of your body. Please don't do that. I don't know if you're thinking about it. If anybody was thinking about ingesting glitter, I'd really have to advise against it, and I really would. I really, really would. I feel like turnips are too hard, though, to really hit somebody. I'd have to see what, like, a rotten turnip would be like. But, I mean, were they really eating turnips like that? Like, crazy? I guess they were. They're really eating turnips like crazy. I'm like, I feel like I never see turnips these days. But then again, I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up in that time. I grew up in that time. But throwing tomatoes dates back to 1944, by the way. It was not officially recognized, though, until 1952. I feel like they definitely would have thrown turnips. Not thrown turnips. Thrown things before that, but maybe it just wasn't so common. Anyway. That's all I have to say about that. I would have thought everybody would have had more opinions about what to throw. Everyone was so excited about it. See, that's why I was wait. This is why I was wait. I'm like, actually, you guys may not want to talk about this the next day. That's why I'm like, let me talk about the stuff I want to talk about now. And I'll save the other topics for later. Because I'm like, what if no one wants to talk about it the next day? Then I'm stuck holding the ball. I don't want to. What? Okay, I think I'm gonna save that BTS bashing for later. Because it's unfolding in front of my eyes. It's unfolding in front of my eyes. And I want to wait. I want to wait to really have like a full discussion about it. About like why BTS has fallen off. And why I truly think that K-pop has fallen off in its entirety. And it's not BTS's fault, but it is. It's not BTS's fault, but it is. And also, it's sad. And also it's sad because, like, damn, it's so crazy. Like, I used to really like this group. I used to really, really like this group. But also I was mentally ill when I liked that group. I was so deeply mentally ill. And when I say that, I mean, like, I was a K-pop fan. I was a K-pop fan. So I was, like, deep in it. And nothing you could have told me in my entire life could have ever made me change my opinion about BTS But wow, crazy how the times change. It's so wild. Like I've lived so many different lives. When you're not like, what's the word for it? I don't want to say like brain broken, but a little bit. Like I think to be a stan of somebody, like you have to be like a little bit brain broken, which is like fine to an extent, depending on what it is. But like once the rose-colored glasses like come off and you start like decentering a lot of people and ideas and celebrities, like everything just feels so clear. Everything just feels so clear to you. Because I'm like, at this point in my life, there's nobody that I wouldn't drop kick. There's not a single person I can think about that I wouldn't drop kick. Like even people that I like, I'm like, I would drop kick you if something happened. Like if something really happened, I could drop kick you. I'm not running defense for you. I'm not running defense for anybody. Not a single person here would I run defense for. I mean, it would hurt. It would hurt really bad. Like for content, I think of like content creators like Rebecca Sugar, for example. If I had to drop kick Rebecca Sugar, that would hurt. That would hurt. That would hurt. That would hurt me really bad. That would hurt me really bad. If I had to drop kick Toby Fox, oh, like if Toby Fox got into some controversy and started going crazy, oh, that hurt me. That hurt me so bad because Undertale's my favorite video game of all time. And I will be getting an Undertale tattoo at one point in my life. Once I have money. Once I have money. Or somebody pays for it. Probably going to end up getting like a family member to pay for it because that's the best thing to do. You just get all of your family members. If you have a good system, have a good family system, obviously, to pay for all your stuff because I think that's what I'm going to do. Bright idea. Okay. It feels like we're tapped, no? I mean, I could probably think of something else to talk about, but let me close up. I got tabs full of tomatoes and turnips and glitter bombs. Feels like what's helped. Let's see. All right, let's wrap up. Thanks. Thank you so much to everybody that tuned in the stream today. I really do appreciate it. It was fun. This whole stream has been fun. I feel like it went by in a flash. It was fun. I had a great time yapping with everybody. Sorry, I'm distracted. I keep getting distracted by memes of people talking about like Chappell Roan punting children. Like I can't not look at it. I can't not look at it. Everybody's saying it. She's gonna throw the kid. She's gonna punt the kid. I did link one in my Discord. Whoops. That was specifically for memes, though, because memes was talking about it, but I cannot stop. I cannot stop. It's gonna be, if you're following me on Twitter, I'm so sorry, because that's, like, the number one thing I'm gonna be liking. I'm gonna like all of those posts, so you're probably gonna see them, too. Whoops. But I think Twitter turned off their likes, so you're not gonna see them anymore. Twitter keeps turning that feature on and off again. Where, like, you can see everybody's likes, and then you can't see everybody's likes. So, I don't actually know what it is. I think right now, though, it's off, so you actually can't see anybody's likes. So, I think we're all good. Sorry, I'm looking for something. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much everybody that tuned in to stream today. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me, doing the thing with me as per usual, because your time is super valuable, and I very much appreciate anybody and everybody hanging out with me. I do. You could have hung out with anybody, but you hung out with little old me. I do really appreciate it. I had fun yapping. I would normally probably talk for like another hour, but it also feels like we kind of slowed down too, and I'm not in the habit of like pulling all-nighters when I don't need to, and plus I do have work tomorrow, and I said I was going to cap the stream when I felt like I needed to when we passed the 2-hour mark, so I feel like I've done it all. Past the 2-hour mark, so I feel like I've done my job. I will be back next week Wednesday. I'm probably going to take off from the ASMR channel because I'm not streaming on the weekend. I normally stream Friday, Saturday, like I'm doing right now. But, like, I'm going to take off because my best friend is getting married. So I'm gonna go I'm gonna go be there obviously to support her and not stream. But it's gonna be nice. But I will be back the week after, obviously. It's just for 2 streams you won't see me, which will feel like a lot, but I'll still stream on that Wednesday. So I'll probably end up doing a stream here, which will be like a just chatting or gaming stream instead of going ASMR, because that feels a little weird to me. Feels a little weird for me to like end on an ASMR, so I'd rather just not and skip the ASMR next week. But the update or the schedule will be out on Monday about that, so you'll end up seeing it there. It'll be on Discord and Twitter. If no one told you today, or in fact love, valued, and appreciated, so you deserve to hear that every single day of your life, and I'm happy to be one person in this lifetime that tells you that you're loved, you're valued, and you are in fact appreciated. You are, you are, you are. If you're wondering in this lifetime who loves me, public who, I do. I love you as much as one person, one stranger can really love another stranger. I truthfully do. I do. I do. I do. Yeah, like I said, sorry, I'm like losing all my tabs. Like I said, I'm gonna do all that. I'm actually also gonna raid out. I'm gonna raid Starpuff, who's doing like an art stream, because I want to raid other artists and artists myself. If you want to stay updated with me, my links are located below. You can stay updated. It'll be good, great, grand, fantastic. I'm active on Discord, Twitter, TikTok, all those spaces and places. You can go follow me there. And as always, until next time, bye, 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 goodbye.